African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get. You built this. African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. But you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense?
Gotta add that part. You dig? Gotta add that part. Foundational. Wait, matter of fact, I forgot to get rid of these damn tabs, man. I need to start doing that because it's gonna keep freezing. I got all this stuff open. Okay. Some things I need, some things I don't. Peace, Golden. What is your objective at late night? Nah, I already told y'all before I left Georgia. I said coming to New Jersey is gonna be rocky. I said I'm going to be coming on late until I get settled in. Then I'll be doing my 10 a.m.s. I already pre-warned y'all the last early live I did when I debated that guy. You know, I already let y'all know in advance. Until I get settled in, it'll be some late ones. All right, but one more time, because that's what the stream is called today, foundational. I put it in all caps. I put it in all caps because people really hate the term foundational Black Americans, but they really hate the foundational in it. You say Black Americans, that's regular, right? That's who we are. If you say, hey, I'm Black American, nobody's going to bat an eye. Nobody's going to, grit their teeth or make noises. Put foundation on the front, see what happens. Oh, nah. And that's why you ask, like, wait, what just happened? So sometimes you might have to just start it off like this. Hey, I'm a Black American. You can see that, right? Yep. All right, cool. I'm foundational because my ancestors helped build the foundation of this country. Like we helped build this country. Like this was really nothing to come to before we start to labor. That's pure history. And they would be like, and that's when we're not that close. Okay, is that everybody? No. Okay, is that every Latino? No. So you can't judge them all that come out of it. Is that every Asian? No. Is that every white person? No. Is that every immigrant, Black immigrant? No. No, that's not all. The thing with us is that we've been exposed to so many that it can almost appear as all of them. And we got to stay focused. We can't believe that lie. We can't sit there and say, hey, all of them. No. We got to just call out the ones who are guilty. Okay, and those that's out there. But to say all, let's not get caught up in that. That's what they want. They want us to say all, right? Because that's what a true racist would do. That's what a true tether would do. That's what a true hater, anti-Semite would do. They're gonna say the word all. So you condemn everybody over a few actions of some. So we cannot get caught up in that trick bag. I know how the hate's been geared towards us, but we have to maintain our integrity. We got to show them how it's done. We're not gonna be easily manipulated to do the word salad like them. Nah. Okay. So anyway, let's go. Oh, so let's get an update from Umar. This is Umar's update on the school. He kind of let me down with this.
To the haters, instigators, and defamers, that's all we gonna say.
Okay,
that's all we ain't got.
expecting him to do that, to behave like that with all that's happening with him. Okay, we had just talked about his antics before, threatening to fight people, sex scandals, language, like just a whole bunch of antics that really probably is the real reason why his school was unsuccessful. I think people were losing hope in him because at one point they looked at him as this professional, sophisticated scholar. Remember, he used to always wear his suits, look very nice. He started putting on relaxed clothing, looking like everybody else, not separating himself from those who are not on the level as him, as far as stature, as far as mindset, planning, Pan-Africanism, whatever he was on. He started to dress down, look like everybody else, and then he started to behave like everybody else. And then he started to have baby mothers like everybody else. He started to, fuss and be extra dramatic on the IG like everybody else. And look at him now. Hey, man, it just looks unprofessional. Like, dude, you're trying to be a what's that? Principal. You're trying to be a principal of the school, dude. You should be wearing nothing but suits. Okay, you want to look like what you're trying to become. That's not how a principal dressed, my boy. Okay, but anyway, who am I?
Got no more words.
And a principal
We ain't
don't
got
stick
no
their
more.
finger up like that. So social media is a lot of people's downfall. They got everything to lose if their social media post goes wrong, and they got little to gain if it goes right.
Words, brothers and sisters. I'm at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The accounts are still frozen.
Okay.
We're looking into it.
Now, each to each own. I'm not going to kick him while he's down, even though I can't say never, but even though for a long time I believe that the school was never going to happen, whether he was scamming or not. I knew it would never happen. Okay, I'm still up in the air whether he is scamming intentionally, but I am almost at the point. Now, I was never here before, family. I never really felt like he always, like his intentions were to be, to scam from the beginning until now. Looking back at everything and sticking his middle finger up, just the bad behavior he has now and all the antics, the white girls, snowboarding strippers, fighting, and just all this stuff. For the first time ever was probably today, where I felt like his intentions were probably always negative. I try to give the brother the benefit of the doubt that he had, good intentions for something that was unrealistic for him. He could have never achieved something like this. Somebody else probably could. But who he is, Umar Johnson, or Jermaine Shoemaker, he could never pull this off. The person who he is, he could never pull this off or anything close to this. Because look, you got the perfect excuse. It was the government. Okay, well, guess what? Start all over. Do something else. He'll never produce anything. Nothing. Not even a corner store, some little small office. Nothing. Okay, he's going down with the school. So I don't got to kick him out while he's down because you know why? There's going to be more of these guys. Okay, he ain't the last. Marcus Garvey was before him, and that was like 1920. That's like 100 years ago. So there'll be more Umars out there. So that's why I'm not kicking him while he's down because it's bigger than him. There'll be other ones. Okay, and there are already other ones out there. They just ain't hit the lottery. Nobody cares who they are. They're irrelevant. It missed. They hit, but they missed. Okay, but there's another guy out there who's going to be charismatic and all this stuff. Got these fake credentials or fake rich person, and they're going to do it all over again. And it won't be a school. It won't be a fleet of steamboats. Who knows what it'll be? Maybe gold. They're going to say they got a whole bunch of gold, or they're trying to buy a whole bunch of gold. It's going to be something ridiculous that's almost impossible to achieve for one person or even a team. And something unnecessary that's not even in demand. All right. So anyway, I took a break to shout people out. Golden Brown, Frida Claxton, 7:40 in California. Yeah, so I'm sorry I'm going late. I hate to go late. I get tired fast. Yesterday I only did an hour because I got tired. I was laying down. I knew better. So I'm gonna do better tonight. I hope to be around for about 12:30 because I don't have to get up so early. So hopefully I got a soda right here. I meant to get a coffee, but hopefully I don't get knocked out. Peace to Same Day, peace to Bro, peace to Andrea, Christopher, Jago, the Rogue, peace to Black Women Stand Up, peace to Uber, where you go, Uber, Urban Commute, peace to American Dream, peace to Pinky Wells, peace to Carlos Magus, peace to Same Day. Yeah, so American Dream, I was going to do something with you, pick your brain, but like I said, but I'm gonna stick to my original plan and have you speak to my boy. Yeah, I'm out of the picture. I won't even, unless he's cutting you off or you're cutting him off, I will step in and say, hey, let American Dream finish, or I'll say, hey, let X Architect finish. You know what I mean? But I felt like you guys should have a conversation. I believe I think it'll go better than myself and you. I think I get upset too quick with you, justifiably so, and you don't really get to a lot of times finish what you're saying, your thoughts. So I'm gonna step out of the picture. I don't have an ego like Umar. I'm gonna step out the picture, and the same way. I think it was you who spoke to Tiger, and definitely Revenue spoke to Tiger. I was out of the picture. Okay, same way I'm gonna do this one. All right. Who else is out there? Forlang, Satchel, Ohio. Do me a favor, family. I like the video. I appreciate all of y'all. Okay. I don't expect a lot of numbers, to be honest, even close to what we normally do at 10:30, 11. Even though some of your states, it's not that late. I just know that some of y'all prefer earlier in the day. So 55 people, I'm appreciative. Let me do this. Can't start a show without this. In case somebody want to sponsor with a small donation. Yeah, so anybody really can email me at blackthinktank@yahoo.com. So yeah, so people have been sending me links. I'm gonna play some of y'all links today. Pinky sent a bunch. I'm gonna try to get around to. I always have them saved. I just never get around to running my mouth too damn much like I am right now. But I got all of your links. I vet them. I look through them. I see which ones I like, and then I save them into my playlist. So hopefully I'm up around. Well, I'm going live in the morning, but it depends. If I wake up early enough, because I'm late now. But my plan was to wake up at 7 a.m., go live about 7:38, and up until about 11 a.m., and then 11:30, give you a good 4 or 5 hours and end it. I was still planning to do a morning. Shit, I might even start at, when I wake up, I'm standing. So a lot of times I wake up at 3 a.m. and I go back to bed 5 a.m. Whatever time I'm waking up, I'm standing up, I'm just gonna go live. And if I have to, I'll play the debate I had with the little 5%er guy, the one that was recent a couple days ago. Okay, so we got the watch in the building, YouTube Mastery, Pinky in the building. Yes, I got your links. So I was saying that for American Dream. So if you feel like, you're free, whatever, and you want to email me like, yo, I'm free at this time, blah, blah, blah. Wait, today's Saturday. Shit. This was a perfect time to invite them on. You know what? Let me finish Umar, and maybe I'll work on it.
With the accounts are still frozen, brothers and sisters, we're supposed to hear back Friday. We're supposed to hear back Friday. That sounds like Monday to me. The bank is giving us the runaround. We ain't got our check back. So we're about to operate attorneys. Attorneys is about to get involved because we were told that when your account gets canceled, you're supposed to get your refund check for the amount that was in the account. We have not received that yet. So there's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters. There's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but it's
They messing with our bills. They messing with our automatic payments. They messing up a lot of stuff with this frozen account. They froze me and they froze the school. That's all right. That's all right. We're going to stay patient. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to see what they say on Friday, no later than Monday. But we need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. I'm only going to say this to the Ifa Tunde faithful. Don't get put in the book of Negroes. We say this to the defamers, the instigators, and the haters.
So the book of Negroes, if you don't know, is his block list. He just blocks you. And he calls that being put with the book of Negroes.
Tubi and struggle streamers out there. First of all, I get 67 million hits on my Instagram a month, more than everybody else in the conscious community put together. Let me say it again.
That's cat.
I get 67 million hits a month on my Instagram, more than everybody else in the conscious community put together. So my struggle streamers.
Okay, that's cat. That's cat. 60 million. I'm just going to throw out a crazy number. I might be wrong as hell. But 67 million for the month, he should be getting, I believe, he'll be getting some checks in the thousands every month. Maybe 30K or more, because Hassan Campbell said his largest YouTube check was about 67K or somewhere around there. So and that was for the month. If he's doing that, he's getting nowhere near $67 million. I mean, I said not $1 million, but 67 million views per month. That's cap. Like, this guy wouldn't be needing nobody to send him money for nothing. His thing's frozen. This dude would have money, would be not an issue for him. Maybe he wouldn't want to invest it in a school that was going nowhere, but that money was that's not happening. This is cap.
Keep on struggling to bring me down. Oh yes, struggle streamers. Keep on struggling.
Hey, peace to Burn his bread. He said, keep struggling to bring him down. Nobody's bringing you down, my boy. We're reacting to you bringing yourself down. You going live and embarrass yourself.
To bring me down. Oh yes, with your 5,000 views, your 20,000 views, your 800 views, your 50,000 views. Struggle streamers, keep on trying to take down King Kong. I want you to keep on trying to take down King Kong with my 67 million.
My fault. It's frozen. My fault. It freezes sometimes. My fault.
Instagram views a month. What y'all going to do when my Go Live channel is ready? What are y'all going to do when my independent Go Live channel is ready? I'm going to kill the whole movement, brothers and sisters.
Okay, so, and that's one of the main reasons why his school wasn't successful, because he's never 100% focused on the school. You would think a huge project like that, you would think that huge project will take most of your time. Okay? You would think a huge project like that, an all-boys school for Black boys of any ethnicity, you would think, and it's no government funding, no state funding, no investors, none of that stuff. It just donations from poor people. You would think, or people that's like not too far past the poverty line, you would think, or almost damn near check to check, you would think that would be your biggest concern. Your focus be on that only to get that baby rocking. The littlest mistake, it goes left, because people still donating don't even have it like that. They're sacrificing ends, to support your dream, Umar. And you didn't take it serious, right? Where we at? Umar could have started his school online. Yeah. Listen, family, every alternative you would say about him in his school, I believe you all are right. As long as you don't say about this school ever being successful, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna respectfully disagree. This school had no chance of ever being successful. And when I say school, I mean operational, fully functional teachers, staff, all that stuff, passing all the codes. You know, the state, all those folks fired people say, yeah, firemen, you know, the captain, whatever, say, hey, this is good. I never believed it was going to go past all that. But anything else online, if you stuck with just doing clinical psychology on certain kids, diagnosing ADD, giving parents alternatives, I think that's where he should have stayed. That's where he pretty much could convince people, persuade people. He knows what he's talking about. But guys who are destined to fail because it's in their DNA, they cannot stay in their lane. They will always jump out and make a project that they could never complete or finish. It just in some people. It was in Marcus Garvey. It's in Umar Johnson, Jermaine Shoemaker. Donnie, peace. So anyway, one more time for the updates for those who's got here. I'm going to be quiet now and play the video.
To the haters, instigators, and defamers, that's all we gonna say. That's all we ain't got no more words. We ain't got no more words, brothers and sisters. I'm at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Salute.
The accounts are still frozen. We looking into it. The accounts are still frozen, brothers and sisters. We're supposed to hear back Friday. We're supposed to hear back Friday. That sounds like Monday to me. The bank is giving us the runaround. We ain't got our check back. So we're about to operate attorneys. Attorneys is about to get involved because we were told that when your account gets canceled, you're supposed to get your refund check for the amount that was in the account. We have not received that yet. So there's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters. There's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters. They messing with our bills. They messing with our automatic payments. They messing up a lot of stuff with this frozen account. They froze me and they froze the school. That's all right. That's all right. We're going to stay patient. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to see what they say on Friday, no later than Monday. But we need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. I'm only going to say this to the Ifa Tunde faithful. Don't get put in the book of Negroes. We say this to the defamers, the instigators, and the haters. All you Tubian struggle streamers out there. First of all, I get 67 million hits on my Instagram a month, more than everybody else in the conscious community put together. Let me say it again. I get 67 million hits a month on my Instagram, more than everybody else in the conscious community put together. So my struggle streamers, keep on struggling to bring me down. Oh, yes.
I don't even know his
struggle
IG.
streamers.
Keep
on struggling to bring me down. Oh, yes.
I'm guessing it's
with your 5,000 views, your 20,000 views, your 800 views, your 50,000 views. Struggle streamers, keep on trying to take down King Kong. I want you to keep on trying to take down King Kong with my 67 million Instagram views a month. What y'all gonna do when my Go Live channel is ready? What are y'all going to do when my independent Go Live channel is ready? I'm going to kill the whole movement, brothers and sisters. To the haters, instigators, and
67 million monthly live viewers, and all it's about is drama. Okay, him and his daughter, basically. Drama. Or him and his scandals. Like, they tune in for that, but I highly doubt. Had he said for the year, that's still crazy. But dude said 67 million. He's always outside doing his lives. He's never in a building, no office. He can't even source up on that. And he keeps saying it. So, all right. So now, Pinky sent me this right here. This was interesting. Very, very, very dangerous and interesting.
I don't like you. You can tell me.
So this is allegedly an island woman. She's arrested for some BS. And check this out.
You're acting right. What's her first name? This bag is.
Yeah, definitely something else.
Is all your stuff? That's all you got? Go in the Bible and the shoes. Okay.
All my stuff over here. Please get them.
Gotcha. They'll get it. I promise you. All right.
Because I'm not killing me. Like I'm American, I'm Jamaican. Don't kill me here.
So there you go. You just gonna kill me like I was an American, and we know white Americans don't die for nothing, or little to nothing from police officers. White Americans normally try to kill the police officer or harm them in a way where their life could be potentially ended. So when white folks get shot and killed by police officers, it's normally justified. Even the public be like, yeah. What else could he do? It's not like us, not an unarmed white guy running away, getting killed. Not a white guy with a knee on his neck who's pretty much handcuffed and submitted. White guys don't go to the precinct in handcuffs and leave with their back broken, you know. So when she said that, that was definitely exclusively talking about foundational Black Americans. Don't forget the foundational. That's important. That's in the title. We're going to deal with that a lot today. Matter of fact, let me throw this at you real quick. I meant to load this up. But so I need you guys to support me and proper perspective. We're trying to arrange a time. So it looks like he's not going to avoid the conversation. It looks like he is interested in having a conversation. I promise you, family, I'm going to be respectful and try not to overtalk him. So if anybody want to call in and be moderator, just to make sure. So if I start getting hyper and muting too much, I will allow an FBA person to moderate. Say, I'm biased. Let them finish. I'm biased. Don't meet them. You know, I will. If y'all want to see good dialogues, well, I'm not. Some of you guys believe I cut off too often and mute. Well, I will allow you guys to call in and be the moderator. Also, Dr. Mayat is going to pull up. We're going to talk about what she talks about when it comes to us. Okay. So yeah, Dr. Mayat gonna pull up, but you guys got to support because proper perspective and Dr. Mayat, these are folks who do pretty good numbers, and they don't want to go to a channel where they believe the numbers aren't going to be reflective of what they do. And you know, lives can sometimes be 2-3 hours, and if 4 or 5 people showing up, they're not gonna believe it's worth their time, you know. So I'm glad y'all pulled up today in some decent numbers. Thank you very much. But let's keep that energy because this is how we get the guests. And the guests like to have, since I'm not paying them, they want to make sure that they're exposed to a new audience, a lot of people, okay? So please show up if you can. If you missed it, go back and watch a little bit of it and just like it, you know what I mean? At least give an impression. The support is here. I'm telling you, people will show up. Because the first thing they're going to do after I invite them, the first thing they're going to do is come to the channel and see what the views are like. Because I will do that. Somebody will invite me. I go to that channel and he's like, you know, and nobody knows about them. They got like 20 views per video. It's like, and they're the opposition. It's like, it ain't like they're on my team because I'm not, you know, I think we're going to disagree with Dr. Mayat on some things, and I think we're going to disagree with proper perspective on a lot of things. Okay, so I think, you know, pull up like you do so often, and get that going. Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna show from this lady. I just want you to see that she was, she said she's encouraging police officers to pretty much keep the energy towards Foundation Black Americans. Okay, let me see. I'm looking for a great video. Remember, the topic is about foundational Black Americans. Don't forget the foundational. Foundational is what normally piss our haters off. They hate to hear foundational anywhere, any place, anywhere in when it comes to Black Americans. They don't want to see that word anywhere. In the middle, they don't care if it's Black foundational Americans. They don't care if it's foundational. They don't care if it's Black American foundational. They don't want to see that foundational anywhere there. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So, and we're gonna lineage up. Lineage up is literally just meaning be on code. It's important to be on code, and on code means let's support each other in different ways. If somebody's out there, give them a try. It might be somebody in the chat who does artwork. They might sell coffee beans, right? They might you maybe you like to grind coffee beans. You dig? Somebody maybe sell jewelry, and it's up your alley. I'm not saying just buy it because they have the lineage. Nah, if that's up your alley, like give folks a chance and give an honest review. If it's trash, just tell them it's trash. Okay, because they're gonna get it. They should take that criticism and make it better. And maybe that support you gave them is that inspiration to make it better. Tell them it's trash, but let them know that you would like to buy more only when it's better quality, or maybe it was sent a month and a half after. It's really good, but the time you got it a month and a half, say, hey man, I got it this time, that's garbage. I probably won't ever order again, but maybe you get it right for the next person, something like that. But let's give each other at least a fighting chance. This is our year. I think 2026 is going to be even better. I think we're just getting started, but it starts with support. The same thing with FBA content creators, a whole bunch of them. And of course, we can't watch all of them, but I always like their videos, regardless if I stay there only for 5 minutes. I make sure I like their video, because that's love. Let them know I was there, and I gave them a like, even though I gotta go. I gave them a like. Okay, so I'm looking for a video in particular, and I hate when it's on. Oh, I got it. Nope. False flag. False flag. Now watch it be on. I'm on every channel but FBA News and Updates. Watch it be on FBA News and Updates. Let's just see. Looking like it's going to be on. Okay. All right. So while I'm doing that, let's beat up on revenue. So he's upset with Tariq. Like he re-identified himself, rebranded himself from Kwame the loser on Foundation FBA News and Channel to the scholar on Tariq Nashi.
Spaces. We had labor protections. We are the ones who opened the door for housing rights. I don't want to hear that $1 shit. We foundational Black Americans made this country livable for non-white immigrants. Revenue, he's Caribbean.
Okay, I found it. So right before revenue come in, let me play this beautiful foundational video. I don't know when it starts. Hold on. We fast forward a bit. Okay, here we are. I fast forward too much. Come on.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family has been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
Always gonna be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American, because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this: when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on an African American Olympic team. I competed on an American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
I am not an African American. I'm an American. I don't want to be called. I am a Black American. I am definitely Black. And yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American? I don't mind the term compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So that means they were there long before.
There's a mixture. We are a mixture. What makes us foundational Black Americans, that we're mixed with the indigenous and we're mixed with the Africans who were. So we became a whole new ethnic group. And that ethnic group was the foundation of the United States, making our ethnic group indigenous to the United States, because we're the first ethnic group of what would become the United States, who built it. We built this thing from scratch. So that makes us indigenous. Unlike the Europeans who came from somewhere else, we were created here. Our ethnogenesis is here. But the thing
70% quote unquote African, 30% white, European, right?
That's salute. That's fine.
You can't tell me that I'm just African though. See,
but look, you picking and choosing.
No, I'm saying I'm both. I'm both things. Like when you talk about when you think about the fact that slave women did not have control.
By the
over
way, he's a tether.
Right.
Yes.
You know
he really
that you are going to. That's why we run the gamut all the way from as light as me to really dark skin. We run the gamut. That's why. So it's. People want us to kind of, I don't understand the need of somebody needing me to be African. I'm an amalgamation. That's what it means to be American. That's what it means to be ADOS in this country. We are an amalgamation of different things. We are unique. So yeah, some of our ancestors came over here, were brought over here, chattel slavery. Okay. That's true. Some of them intermarried. Some of them some of them come from women who were the victims of. All of that is our history. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that like African slaves, like slavery isn't a part of that and Africans were enslaved.
Okay, there you go. I didn't mean to click that. God, I hate when I do that. I try to end it. Okay, so one more from Morgan Freeman. So remember, it's about being foundational and being proud. So now you have Raven Simone, you have Smokey Robinson, you have Floyd Mayweather Jr., TBE. You had now you have Morgan Freeman. Are these folks blind cult members of Tariq Nashi? Okay, are these? Because I recall. Mayweather making that statement before ADOS and FBA was even a thing. Okay, so are they blind cult members of Tariq Nashi? Because they said everything we said, but they didn't use the term foundational. But they said everything about the term or the name Africa in their identity, no different than what we said. Exactly everything verbatim, basically, but in their own words. All right, how about Morgan Freeman? What is he going to say? Hold on, make sure at the beginning. Cool.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American.
Right.
What's up? I'm not African.
No, I'm not African.
Very strong. I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American. What's up? I'm not African. Very strong.
Okay, so we got a foundational Black American who I guess to the ops, to the haters, to the trolls and tethers, I guess he is now under the spell of Tariq Nashi. And he's now a cult member pushing a CIA, FBI movement agenda. This is their excuse when intelligent FBAs wake up and say, you're right. That makes absolute sense. I am definitely foundational Black American to this country. All right, let me do this right here. So now I got another one that's gonna make you guys proud. One that's a few of you seen, because when I did it, I wasn't really live at my normal hour. So a lot of folks didn't see it, okay? So I'm going to play that for you. Give me a second. This one right here gonna make y'all proud, I guarantee you. It's gonna make you very, very proud that you clicked this link today. Let me just pull it up. It's in my Facebook. Let me just pull that up. Up. Ooh, okay. Oh shit. Okay, so this ain't here. I got it. Raid is right here. I'm running back because some of these they automatically put it on mute. Okay. So let me get this one. I can love this one. And it's still about being foundational Black American and not being African. Okay, because a lot of us, a lot of FBAs on this channel and others, but this one I can speak to for sure. A lot of us came over here and gave personal testimonies by saying, even though we were called African American by this country via Jesse Jackson, a lot of us never embraced that term. What do I mean? Yes, we checked the box. We had no choice. You dig? We checked the box on application and other forms you got to fill out. But when it came to everyday dialect, most of us will tell you we ain't never say, hey, man, go get that African American looking dude to ask him do you want to play basketball. Nah, it was ask that Black guy. You dig? If a police officer, if he had a snitch and he said, describe what happened. The snitch was not saying, oh, I seen an African American guy. He gonna say, I seen a Black guy. Ask a white woman when she's lying. Ask a Karen when she's lying. She's gonna say that Black child, Black boy, Black woman. She's not gonna say that African American boy. Okay, the Black Panthers said Black power, not African American power. Black Wall Street, not African American Wall Street. Elijah Muhammad said the Black man is God, not the African American man is God. And James Brown said African American and proud. No, he said I'm Black and I'm proud. And I told you guys, you can Google this, Chat GPT. The reason why African American even has theme behind it, because that was an agenda. There was an agenda, family, to replace Black. White folks seen Black as too powerful, too strong, too inciting. So they wanted a term that was softer, safer for them, make them feel comfortable. And that was literally African American. Okay. So this is something. Let me make sure the mute button is off. Let me maximize this real fast. Okay, here we go. Got it. Family, I bring to you this. This is a young boy. You see how old this is? A young boy. This is definitely, I think, late 50s, like 58. If I do a best guess, 58. Yeah, about 17, 18 years old. Check this out, family.
Go ahead, son.
As I was going back to see, he pointed out for me I could go back when I want to. Go back to where? Huh? Go anywhere.
Sir, could you stand up? We can't hear you. Could you stand up over there by the microphone?
You mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? We are not Africans no more. You have raped our great-grandmothers and stuff and changed us. Let me finish. And gave us a name as a Negro. I am not a Negro. A Negro is a person with a slave at the man. I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me.
Sir, that's a foundational Black American, all caps foundational. And don't say nothing else to me. The entire world knows what that means when we say that. You dig? That means I will crash out 100% and nobody's going to stop me. My mama, my grandmother, my grandpappy, the pastor, E-man, whoever, teacher, school teacher, I respect. When we say, and don't say nothing else to me, that is literally one more thing toward me is you just pressed the crash out button on my heart. You just detonated the, you did something that's irreversible. We're not, he said, we're not Africans no more. This is 1950s, but I'm guessing somehow Tariq Nashi brainwashed this dude. Okay? I don't think Tariq Nashi was even born at this time, let alone influential. We're not, one more time, so y'all don't miss it. We're not African no more.
Could you stand up? We can't hear you. Could you stand up over there by the microphone?
You mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? We are not Africans no more. You have raped our great-grandmothers and stuff and changed us. Let me finish. And gave us a name as a Negro. I am not a Negro. A Negro is a person with a slave at the man. I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me.
Sir. Yeah, if that didn't give y'all chills, the chills would come. You just replay that later. That is wild. My man saying, don't say nothing else to me. Okay, we're not Africans no more. And as you know, I can go on and on and on and on and on. Okay, with this type of content, it is what it is, man. We're foundational Black Americans, and that's something you're gonna deal with or not. Okay, but we're not apologizing to nobody. We're not trying to save friendships. If you can't accept that, you know, it's up. Okay. Peace to Reverend Greenback. See you in the chat. The diasporan, the Black masses did not know what it was. There was a poem that had African American in it. I'm sure it was. So now, I'm not combative. I'm not belligerent, right? So when folks have a different version of history or they want to add to history, you know, not add like you made it up, but add to the platform, the content, family, let me put the link in the chat, okay? Where we can, you know, it's acceptable. You're not going to get me acting a fool because you said something that was part of history. I'm just going to go, okay. If I believe that is not really accurate, I might challenge you brotherly. I'm not going to act a fool when I challenge you like other platforms. So, diaspora, don't worry about the chat. Okay, everybody chat is usually live and ready for action, dude. Don't worry about that. There's a link, and I have a phone number you can call if you don't want to be on the. If you don't want to be on the thing, let me give you that real fast. Hold on. So if you don't want to, no, you don't have to share your. You don't got to share your at 420 Ellen. You don't got to share your. You don't got to show your face. You click the loan. You can click the Yeah, that video was crazy, yo. Because you guys be sending my email is blackthinktank@yahoo.com. Most of my content comes from you guys. Y'all send me so much stuff because I love it. I got content forever. I just can't get to it all because I talk a lot. You gotta talk, right? Just can't play videos. So that's the phone number. So your options. That's the phone number. That's the link. Okay, Zoom link, phone number. Call in. Tell us what's on your mind. I might ask a question or two. I'm not going to try to debate you. As long as you're in, to be fair, as long as your energy is friendly, brotherly, and loving, I'm going to match energy. You call in snobby and acting like you know it all, I'm going to match it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to match the energy. So, but right now, you see, I'm peaceful, loving, understanding, willing to listen and exchange conversation. Okay, so let me just turn this back on. Who else? Carlos pulled up. Who else pulled up while I was playing that? That video was deep as hell, man. I love that video. Extra money. What's good with you? And also, new folks, if you're in here, please let me know if you're FBA, if you like the term ADOS, Freeman, or whatever term you want to call yourself, as long as you know you can trace your lineage, right, to slavery, that's all that matters to me. Matter of fact, yeah, so you could put down whatever term you like and just tag in there, I'm of the lineage. and I'm gonna give you a lineage wrench because I need to know who the family is, and even supporters, even FBA supporters that's down, the riders, they get wrenches. Who doesn't get wrenches? Non-supporters and non-FBAs. Okay, that's who don't get wrenches. And I'm not saying a wrench is the NOBO, it's just for I can know who is who. All right, so now I got to play this guy where he at. So for everything that we heard that was positive, you know, you gotta have a balance. There gotta be a hater in there. All right, so let me find, I think I clicked it off by mistake. No, I did just now. That was my fault. So I did just now. I did click it off just now. Wait, what is this? What is this?
I don't like it.
Okay, yeah. I just clicked it off by mistake. So with every good video, it's positive, thought-provoking, inspirational. There's an opposite video that there's an opposing video that does the opposite. Okay. And I just clicked off it by mistake. Here we are. Now I never watched it, so this might be clickbait. Okay, let's see.
African Americans need to define themselves. You can't say no profanity over this, right? I was gonna put
okay. So now here's the I never seen this. So we got Baba Smalls saying African Americans, no problem. We know what he means. He's talking about the lineage, and he said we need to define ourselves. That's interesting. That's interesting because he said something else.
So, yeah, we good. African Americans need to define themselves. You can't say no profanity over this, right? Because I was gonna put it, they need to define their black asses because they don't understand how friggin' confused they are. And I'm gonna call the names. The Arabs in the community, they got their shit hooked up with Arabs, so they got control.
See now, this is what I don't like. That's very consistent with Pan-Africanists like this guy. Pan-Africanists, they got a habit of always and only blaming Foundation Black Americans, even the things that's self-inflicting, the things that we actually do wrong, right? They will highlight that. They only just mention that. But you have other Black people globally that does things wrong, and Pan-Africanists hardly ever call that out on them. They love to do the Barack Obama. Black man, you ain't no daddy. You gotta raise your boy. Like, just talk down on us. And he's doing it. Talking down on us. Got even the Arabs, bro, brother. If we don't have our stuff right, neither does Jamaicans or any Caribbean person, nobody from Haiti, not enough people. In Africa, brother. That seems like a Black thing. Well, that seems like a FBA and African thing, and African, I mean, separate from us thing. Like, we darker people of the world just got to get their stuff together. But just to say we got to do it and mention the Arabs, the Jews, and the Irish, that's disingenuous. Just say everybody of dark hue, melanin, y'all need to get your stuff together.
Of all the stores, that's not some accident in history. That's a network that had the U.S. government assisting them.
Okay, so now he started off by saying, okay, Robert Mann, I'm going to throw you a lineage wrench. I think you're FBA, the way you're speaking. Damon Reeves literally say FBA, okay? So let me throw you a lineage wrench. Now, everybody, please, all I ask from there, like the video, that's free. Now, he started off by saying, so now, Baba Small said we have to define ourselves. And now he's pooping on us now. He's pooping on us. Okay?
And I'm going to call the names. The Arabs in the community, they got their shit hooked up with Arabs. So they got control of all the stores. That's not some accident in history. That's a network that had the U.S. government assisting them. The Koreans, they got all the dry cleaners. That's a
okay, so now we want to say another thing. To talk down on us, you have to erase history, erase our history and history. You got to pretend that our communities and our affluent people, rich people, successful people, educated people were not undermined, sabotaged, jailed, killed, stripped, communities burned down, eminent domain, and urban renewal. You got to act like none of that stuff is true. You got to act like there was no convict leasing, there was no peonage system. You got to act like there was no Jim Crow. You got to just pretend that we just been dropped off on a refugee boat and we just been twiddling our fingers all this time.
Network, an international network financed by folks from outside of this country and promoted by the government of the United States. If you look at the nail issue, imagine black women going into a place, having their nails done by Asian women who wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. I mean,
he's extra extreme. So family, the likes is cool, right? But we're 30 off. So if you haven't liked the videos, you hadn't do that. Let's just meet the likes with the viewership, and we good.
That we really messed up like that. We can't even, black beauty shops can't even do their thing because black women are going in other ethnic group beauty shops getting their hair done. The way you make money, you sell your culture to yourself, all right? If you can't sell your food to yourself, and you can't sell your nails to yourself, and your hair to yourself, and your barbershop to yourself, and your clothing styles to yourself, then you're going to be a slave of whoever's selling that shit to you. And that's what it comes down to. I think Claude Anderson said, yes, last year we spent $1 billion.
Always strong. We spent $1 trillion. Criticism towards us. Okay, so we got some Lineage love in the super chat. I have to read that. We got Donnie Williams, $9.98. Let's give him a like and a heart, please. And he's representing those who don't have it, right? Or does have it, but don't wish to. So good. In church, they just tap the plate. So our tapping the plate is just like the super chat donation. He says, ain't no Babas. He is on record switching his tune. Oh, I got that next. Smalls begging for his African hotel donations. Another nothing burger. He another fake Pan-African. Wow. I gotta say, you're onto something, brother. Renaissance woman. And yeah, so I only called him, I don't know what Baba means, to be honest. I only called him that because he called himself that. You dig? Again, I'm being a little nice today. You know what I mean? With my words. I'm choosing my words a certain way just for tonight. Who knows what happens tomorrow? You dig? But just for tonight, I'm being charitable with my words. But I think Donnie is onto something. So the diaspora says, I'd love to see more structure in getting reparations for descendants of American slaves, freedmen, formerly. We good with that. He said, number two, I would like to see the larger Black organizations put aside differences in America to do the building blocks that Dr. Anderson talked about. Well, yeah. So, I mean, with the diaspora, when we try to do that, y'all get mad at us. It started with delineating. Like, we had to first see who's with it and who's not. Because we were counting all people of color, dark color, to get on code and build something and get in line and get things popping. We realized it's not everybody of dark color. We realized that we have a better shot just linking up with those who are of the lineage. Of the lineage, it simply means, in this case, FBAs. So there's other names that's used. See, Jerry Kahn said Freedmen's. Freedmen's is the other language we use to describe the lineage. You dig? So, and then Diaspora said, number three, I'd like to see a formal political PAC that only donates to those who follow a Beamer mindset, as Dr. Claude Anderson says, that those can be rented or bought. Well, if you're a foundational Black American, you can be the one to start that. But I believe there's some things out there. I think just because we don't know about it, we start to believe it doesn't exist. You need to really check with ADOS, because ADOS does a lot of things like that. So before you say that we need to do it, just make sure it's not being done already. But I think ADOS is doing something very, very similar to, if not exactly, to what you're speaking about. Yeah, so just Google ADOS Foundations, ADOS Organization, whatever it's called, and read that. I think that's there. Dr. Claude Anderson is the key master. Kenta Miller says, aka Super High. Again, if you're here for the first time, you're FBA Adolf, Freeman, or you call yourself something else that's different than that, but you are indeed of the lineage, because I just call it the lineage. You see the hashtag, the lineage, right? Because that just brings everybody together. We're not caught up on names, because all of us are just naming ourselves something exclusive that defines and recognizes and acknowledges the lineage. So it all comes back down to where you from. Wherever you call yourself Ninja Turtles, don't care. We do care, but right now we don't care. So it's like the care is suspended. Right now, just about being on code. It's like, okay, you are the Ninja Turtles, cool. Here's the most important question. Where you from? Wherever you call yourself, the most important question is, where are you from? Ninja Turtles. Okay, so we got Kenta Miller. So Kenta Miller, Derek Jones, if you are, he said my family goes back to the 1390s, New France Pirates. Interesting. The code tells you who is on code or off code. Yeah, that's it. He diasporan the code, and the code is, it can be seen as ambiguous, vague, but we believe, this is what we believe. We believe that there is an energy. There's an FBA energy out there, you dig? And we give that a name. So Tariq Nashi calls it the majority spirit. Okay, so we believe that when we say certain things, like we got to get on code, we believe that's already understood. So it does not need to be explained. That's what we believe. Even our slang is so different from Atlanta. I'm talking about New Jersey. New Jersey slang is so, FBA slang is so different from, let's say, New Orleans or Houston or North Carolina, California. But it's not going to take us long to pick up on it. All we got to do is be introduced to folks with different slang in one of those different Detroit, whatever. And it'll take me about a week to master that language without anybody explaining it. Okay, like I said, some people define that as having the majority spirit. Some folks just say it's energy based. All right. Renaissance woman. 77, born in 77. I'm born in 77 too, but the question is, are you a supporter of the lineage? Are you of the lineage that goes back to slavery? Or are you, just a viewer, a spectator?
It was meaningless because it wasn't aggregated, it wasn't organized, it wasn't brought together. And so we have many black people who are working, and they have to be in order for us to spend $1 trillion.
You call it mojo? Yeah, I heard
that bonding relationship to the group. If you look at people from China, from Japan,
okay, so he just ranting. So family, forgive me, but I gotta play this right here. Okay, I gotta play this to give Baba some more context.
Confusion, right? So, but Baba, why have you? There are 4 sentiments that are often expressed by our young brothers and sisters when we engage them, our FBA family, and they are our family. And when they express them, what they'll say is, well, like Baba James, he aligns with us, but I want to share these 4 sentiments with you, and I can do it one at a time, or I can give you all 4, and I want you to be able to just
respond. All 4, and I can respond, because if I'm late for my sister's birthday, she's gonna kill me.
Gotcha. All right, so I'll give you all 4. I'll give you all 4. So these are 4 of the most common, like, anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one is, Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native Black Americans. That's one. The second one is, Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody on Earth is African. That's 2. The third one is, African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves Africans.
Go back.
That's 3.
Back in time,
and the fourth one is, Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism. Those are the 4 most common kind of like retorts that we hear, and they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba James Smalls going to tell him I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard.
Yes.
So I don't understand.
Okay, so Baba Smalls said he doesn't agree with nothing that was said, okay? Nothing. That's what he's saying around Pan-Africanism. But he's going to have a conversation with Tariq Nashi on the right, and he's going to feel differently.
But their brains are when they say, I'm not an African. And all this tells me that self-hate.
So Lorraine is in the super chat with Lineage Love Family. If you don't plan on super chatting or cash apping today, no problem. We still love you. just tap her plate, right? Just tap the plate. The plate is her lineage message. So you just like it, click the heart, you dig, represent, and she rep you, okay? Because the $5 she sent, the 9, that's on behalf of him first and foremost. That's on behalf of her first and foremost, but it's definitely inclusive to all of y'all. Okay, as long as you tap it, as long as you like it in your heart, that's also you also donate.
Hate, self-ignorance, lack of understanding of African history and of history in general are what we're dealing with people who have taken some.
Pan-Africanists continuously do that. They automatically assume that every FBA just don't know history and American history. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know why it's said, but it's often repeated as though it's true. Too much and too often. Damn near every Pan-Africanist I ever hear rant at how much they disagree with FBAs and cult followers. You have a cult leader. All of them feel like they got to educate us on our history in this country and just American history in general, and even global history. It's like, what are we doing, man? You know, it's how easy it is just to read a book. Like, why do you think because you read the book, I didn't read it, you know, about history and, you know, the Civil War and Black Reconstruction. Why do you think when that book was made and printed, you were the only one to buy it? Dr. Amos' book, okay, Blueprint for Black Power. Why do you think you're the only one that read that? What about W. Du Bois' book, Black Reconstruction? What about Dr. Claude Anderson's book? I bought every last one of them. Why do you guys think you're the only ones to buy these books? Michelle Allen and Newton Grow, A Medical Apartheid. Why do you guys think you're the only people to okay, go get your episode. Why do you guys think you're the only ones to read these books? But they always feel like they gotta teach us Black history as though we just can't talk. I'm sure you're gonna know some things I didn't know. And I'm sure 100% I'm gonna know some stuff you don't know. It's like, yo, what we wanna do? Tit for tat? You think it's gonna be trivial? Like, okay, I'm that petty, I would do that too.
What do you call it? Clips?
Yeah.
Little sound bites from the internet, and now they've become historians and political leaders.
Okay, so now he was directly attacking Tariq Nashi with that one, 100%. Okay, because Tariq Nashi has self-proclaimed, you know, he's an historian. You know, he believes he read enough that you know, he can be called, you know, a low-key, like, not, of course, not a scholarly historian, but enough where he's on that level. And I tend to agree. I think he know a lot. The shit I be reading, I think is like, oh wow, this is deep. Nobody know this. I hear him say it in one of his lives. I don't hear Baba Small say nowhere near half the stuff Tariq Nashi says. So for him to like diss him that way, low key diss him, throw shade. Oh, he got clips from this, clips from that, and all of a sudden, hey, what do you mean is when he say clips, he's saying clips from the scholars who appeared on Hidden Colors. He's saying basically he's repeating and
of African history.
Wait, we go. God damn.
And of history in general are what understand where their brains are when they say, I'm not an African. And all this tells me that self-hate,
people say that,
self-ignorance, lack of understanding.
All because he said, because we don't call ourselves Africans. Dude, we're not Africans. That's a newsflash. We're not Africans. We're not one thing. So, except for American is a bunch of things. I just played Tariq Nashi, break that down, Annie Beck Cornell. To call yourself American is saying I'm a bunch of different things and I have the American experience and the American culture. That's why I'm American. Okay, so Jamaican similar, Mexican similar. They're mixed with a bunch of things and they have a unique culture. They have a unique experience that all those things they're mixed with, not one of those persons experienced it, nowhere near on their level. And as a result, they're called Mexican and not indigenous or native, nothing. You dig, or American Indian, nothing. And they're not called Spaniards either. And where else is in that melting pot? That's just a fact.
Understanding of African history and of history in general.
Let me give Miss Unapologetic Identity. Peace. Salute to you, Miss. Let me give you a lineage wrench. And all I ask for exchange is to, like the video. And then if you like what you're hearing, if it really moves you, go ahead and the Cash App is pinned to the top. Also, the super chat is there. And also I have a phone number and a Zoom link if you want to share something.
General, what we're dealing with people who have taken some, what do you call it, clips, little sound bites from the internet, and now they've become historians and political leaders because they can get a bunch of people to, when you push the little button for them, subscribe.
Yeah.
Because I was
Please subscribe. I'm telling you, that was a direct hateful attack at Tariq Nashi. I'm telling you, man.
Quiet for a while. And then I go, I can't stay quiet. So in the last year and a half, I've just been out here trying to teach as much as I can. And people are afraid because that means you got to change your little black behind into something better than what the white man has created you to be. You're going to give me the white slop and then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, if you use that because you're trying to find an identity, I'll help you with that. Because you deserve to have your own identity.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop along saying you're anti-African, you're not African, you're not from Africa.
Now, why do Pan-Africanists and tethers believe? Because we factually say we're not African, that makes us anti-African. So when I say I'm not European either, does that make me anti-European? And what about the other small percentages there? Does that make me anti whatever that is? We're saying we're none of those one thing. We're all of them combined, and we have unique cultural experience in America, so that makes us American. And if you guys can't get it, disagree, please ask for the link or phone number so we can just have a brief dialogue, not a debate. It's a brief dialogue. Okay, so he said, do not give him the white man's slop, and the white man's slop is FBA. He said, don't label him. He's saying, don't label him. Nobody's had the power to label him.
The white slop that they've been trying to push in our brain from day one. Throw that slop out, empty and wash your bucket, and let us bring some real black stuff up in there. Let's talk about.
So he wants to baptize us and then educate us. Okay. So he's going to re-teach us Pan-Africanist history. And all that means is they're going to over-glorify Africa. They're going to romanticize it, sensationalize it, and we're just going to learn about how we were kings and queens. That's all he wants to teach us, how we were kings and queens in Egypt. Okay?
United Africa.
There was he basically lied to you and gave role.
Okay.
And he gave you the dude who's you were on a broadcast indeed. So now
listen,
the blacks going on in North America.
So now he hopped on Tariq's live feed, right? And he was talking about something else. Tariq Nashi brought him straight to what he heard right here. So this is directly afterwards, maybe a day or two a week. With Tariq, this was brought to his attention. He felt disrespected. So he brought him on, and Baba Smalls was talking about everything under the sun. But to look, Tariq gonna bring it right back to what he said to these haters on the left.
Indeed, yes, indeed. So now, recently, there was you were on a broadcast on a YouTube stream, and there was a dude who's kind of known in our circles as being a troll.
Okay, he's talking about this troll right here. So, but he's referencing this. Watch Baba Small's reaction.
And he gave you some real. He basically lied to you and gave you some misinformation about some of the stuff that we've said. and then tried to use you against me, and some of these other trolls tried to use your words against me. How do you feel about that, sir?
Right. Well, part of it is the young man, Umar called me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And his position, he says, I wasn't the one putting that out there like that. And I said, what do you mean? I said because, you know, I couldn't find him. I had the name wrong.
Yeah.
And when I found the name in my phone, he called me just as I found the name. And he says, listen, because I did this little piece, I was trying to get it right on Twitter, calling people out for.
This is called explaining. This is called explaining, okay? He's not standing on what he said earlier about slop. Don't call him slop.
Doing that because I'm saying, wait a minute, that's not one, that was not what really happened.
Right. Come on.
Now, he did raise these things about, that was not what really happened.
Right.
Now, he did raise these things about foundational Black America. And I go like, these are my children, I think is the term I use, and I love them. You got to understand it. If I think my children have any issues, I'm going to argue with them to get the issues right. Right? If they made any statements wrong, then I'm not going to stab them in the back or talk to them about behind their back.
We can't be your children because you didn't raise us.
I tell them my love for you, our relationship, and so forth. And whenever I have any issues, I tell them my love for you, our relationship, and so forth. And whenever I have any issues, I talk to you about it.
The like button family, I gotta mute it. The like button is ridiculous. Like, we are 30, actually we're 40 likes away. The gap grew. We were only like 20 likes away. We're like 40 likes away. I know some phones, trust me, I've been there. I've been watching it live on my phone, and it's kind of tricky to see live buttons. I don't think it's intentional. I think sometimes it's tricky to see that live button, but it's very important, family, that live button. You know, you help the channel grow from the grassroots. And we, as you can see, more Lineage folks come in and they join the cookout and they subscribe and they return. We are significantly growing larger than we ever was. And, you know, we're actually going somewhere with it.
Sometimes you be quiet, sometimes you take me on, but we've never had a negative.
Right.
You be quiet, sometimes you take me on, but we've never had a negative.
Right.
You and I.
Of course.
And you know the things I disagree on, and they ain't really big things. That's the issue. Well, then I really argue with you about one thing, the N-word, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think you lose your temper a little bit too much on some of these Negroes who don't deserve you putting that energy on. And those have been our two issues.
Yeah.
And we deal with this going back. And I remember when you were having an issue, but I think we won't even call his name, but a little brother out there.
Yeah.
And I call you and I talk to you about it, and you squashed that.
Yeah.
There was an issue with some sister who was coming after you about some stuff. I called you this a couple of years ago. You squashed that. They didn't squash it, but you did.
Yeah.
So I have to let people understand and be clear, because I got some crazy calls from all over the world. When I was coming to Washington, you're not going there. Look, wait a minute. I had to do almost had to do a Tariq Nashi. I had to go off on some folks. Who the hell are you?
When he says he's going to Washington, I'm believing that's a reference that he went to Washington when Tariq had the march. So I believe he's talking about that, not the Million Man movement. He's talking about when Tariq did it.
Me where I go, who I speak with, and why. Now, if you call me and say, Brother Small, I heard something about Tariq, is that right? I would have told you, no, that ain't right. You know, you've been misinformed. And so when I did the show with the young people, because they'd call me, and I do a lot of shows with young people who call me, and most of the times I don't know who they are beforehand, and a lot of times it's the first time.
So now he's making the excuse for his panel. So now he's saying sometimes when I'm invited to panels, I know who the Pan-Africanists are and what they're about. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, make these questions. So he really is running from accountability.
But they just want, and a lot of times, this is the first time. It's like I got Professor Small on there, and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And on this show, when the issue came up, and I told him, when I want to speak to you and make a criticism,
on this show,
I do it to your face. I'm not a backstabber. You know, I'm going to tell you, and I'll say right out in the public that I own it. That's how men do.
You're not
You know, that's how men be. And then we had a pretty well, I thought, with a decent discussion with me explaining what Pan-Africanism is, explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and telling them I'm both. Because for me, Pan-Africanism is how we unite the Black people all over the world.
Remember earlier when he was speaking to the two other Pan-Africanists, he said, do not label him with the white man slop, which is FBA. He said, do not give me the FBA white man slop, and don't label him FBA. He said, don't label him FBA. He just literally labeled himself FBA, while at the same time lying, saying he stands on business. Listen.
Is explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and tell them I'm both. Because for me, Pan-Africanism is how we unite the Black people all over the world. Be one force. Now, we can call it Pan anything we want to, but all the Pan means is unity, nothing else. And that Foundation of Black American, that we have a right to identify ourselves.
He said,
in the same way any
Black American, and he said we. He said Foundation of Black American. He said we. We have a right to identify ourselves. So now he's the white man slot. So now certain folks who chime in who are not FBA and they're not with the lineage, they don't support it, they detractors. What they'll do, they'll watch this. I'm just playing his words before and afterwards. Okay, you know, like the 10 minutes later, and they are totally contradictory. They're day and night, apples and oranges. And what they would do, the detractors, they'll say, I'm disrespecting the elder, the Bible. Okay, I'm disrespecting Professor James Small, Bible Small. And I'm just playing his words. I played Dr. John Rick Clark words the other day, and somebody gave me a message, a comment to the video, and said I was disrespecting Dr. Jody said, because you didn't believe hearing it, making it was already public. I just added more emphasis. You know, that's all. Hey, did you know he said this? And I'm starting trouble. I'm the hater. This is how he talked.
the other ethnicity.
Go back.
In the Foundation of Black American, that we have a right to identify ourselves in the same way any other ethnic group. And I think I used the Jamaican community. They don't call themselves African. They call themselves Jamaican. They say I'm African. They say I'm Haitian. And we find no contradiction with that. We're the only group in North America that use the term African to describe ourselves.
We've been saying that. We've been saying that. Okay, so there you go. So go, family. There you go. You want to let me put this link in this video in the chat. You want to watch this over? Okay, yeah, that was bad. That was not a good look. We just said that he stands. If he said it, he'll live with it, and he didn't do that. Hey, Kenta Miller been in the chat. The South FBA motherland. Yeah. So again, I only play this video not to beat a dead horse, but the title is called Foundational, all caps. That means respected Black Americans. And you see, Baba Smalls, he had an issue with it. He was amongst the Pan-Africanists, and now he's around the FBAs, and all of a sudden he loves, the term. It's no longer white man slop. It's a fitting term. We deserve to describe ourselves and identify ourselves also. He's in all our talking points. Jamaicans don't call themselves African, so why we are forced to identify as African. He used all of our points, okay, after going against us. But it's all good. So now let's go back to Revenue. Who is Revenue? Revenue is a new troll that hops on, a new Jamaican troll who hops on Tariq Nashi and trolls and be disrespectful and disingenuous. Well, before you start hopping on Tariq Nashi, he used to come over here and get cooked. I mean, like destroyed. Okay, and he's trying to rebrand himself because over here he was known as Kwame. Okay, I had the videos. So if you want to look them up over here in my archives, you got to type in Kwame. You can't type in Revenue. I just started to rename him Revenue over there, or he was pissed. I said, nah, bro, you ain't about to be no double agent. You're going to be known as one person. So you're either going to be Kwame on Tariq Nashi over here, or you're going to be Revenue over here like you're there on Tariq Nashi. But we're not going to let this polar shit continue.
I don't know what you giving the thumbs down. He's Jamaican. What are you giving the thumbs down for?
Yeah, we're 20.
I want to, what the hell are you giving the thumbs down for?
Yeah. Remember, it's about lineaging up and on code.
You just up here just spewing a whole bunch of rhetoric that's just.
Am I lying?
It's not.
Am I lying?
It's not true.
Am I lying? What did I lie?
Yeah, you saying that Black Americans open this door. Like, yeah. What door are you talking about?
Housing, jobs, labor rights, voting rights, all of the things you came over here to enjoy. We opened that for you. You didn't get that on your own.
And who signed the bill? Was it the white man or Black American?
We made.
So yeah, this is the most tetherist thing you can say. Who signed the bill? Well, who else signed the bill? We were clearly not in power. Okay, who signed Emancipation Proclamation? Like, what are you talking about? Like, who's the independence? Who signed off the freedom of slavery? This is a disrespectful tether. What gets worse?
Made them sign it. We made them, physically made them.
Okay, Tariq.
Am I lying or what?
You're over exaggerating things.
How so?
Because you're basically saying that Black Americans basically ran the government and made sure that Black immigrants.
What are you talking about? We ran the government.
Got over here. And even if that happened, do you want them to?
How do you think we did it? Let's get this shit straight. Because y'all sit up here, because y'all bring your mentality, because y'all don't do nothing. Y'all let them people whoop on your ass. We didn't, dude. We
didn't sign up to be sharecroppers like Black Americans.
No, nigga, you were over there stealing sugar cane and shit like that and getting buck broken over there.
Yeah, we
when they were being colonized, they were playing dominoes, Monopoly, Taboo, you dig, tag, flag football. He act like they were like, dude, y'all were dehumanized as well. But this is just dirty. At the capitalization. That's what got them pissed off.
We fought for. You didn't beg to be shared.
You gotta bow down. King Charles still run you,
and you gotta bow down to.
So we're good over here. We ain't bow down to nothing. Good. Y'all have to bow down to damn King Charles.
Pushing back, marching against spit on by white people is
on your beaches over there. You can't even go to the beaches.
Nah, we can't find nobody in Jamaica getting spit on. We could find tons of videos of Black Americans getting spit on, chased by German shepherds. And so I don't know this big
those same
family. That's not disrespectful. Okay, we were demonstrating a non-march. That's we were doing. By the way, it is a fact. So now he's okay because he's being disrespectful and petty. So we got to be petty. You know, the same energy. Family. I looked it up. It's okay. Yes, the white man. Some white boys are spitting at us. Okay, and some of them got their teeth knocked out as well, okay? Everybody ain't play that, turn the other cheek. But we know this though. The white man was putting feces in the mouths of Jamaicans. So when they were putting feces in the mouth. I ain't gotta look it up today. I already did. I didn't believe it. I looked it up. There's some truth to that. Feces in their mouths and all type of ridiculous stuff that they never did to us. Now, can you imagine a foundation Black American man open up his mouth and allow a white man to put some feces in it? Like, come on. Like, you can't even fathom that. But that happened and that's part of the Caribbean history, Jamaican history. But they want to throw Some of them, not all Jamaicans. A lot of them very cool as hell. A lot of Latinos cool, a lot of white folks. Like, we got allies. We just are bombarded with their tether class, their white racist class. But truth to power, yes, feces were put in their mouth as torture and all type of other things. Pause.
Who was doing it? You don't see that in your homeland, do you? Huh?
Yeah. Now, if I'm wrong, then maybe there's some more context to that. But when I researched that thing live last, revenue conceded to that. He brought it up, and I researched on the flock. It sounded crazy, and when he brought up, he was talking about me or revenue. But Dwayne, just do a quick Google search, and if I'm wrong, I don't mind openly, publicly on a live saying I'm wrong. And then I won't repeat it again if I'm wrong. But you got to first confirm that I am.
That's why they had to create SWAT. They had to create whole militarized operations to stop us from lighting the masses up.
Yeah, we chased the white man off the islands. That's what we did.
The white man.
What I wanted to look up. Okay.
And running you now. Y'all don't run none of them resorts. None of them. It's whites, Asians, and East Indians running your ass over there right now. You own none of the resorts there, sir. So what you talking about? Huh?
I guess Black Americans wrote the 14th Amendment too, right? I guess they wrote the
amendment was a grassroots effort. That was William Nesbitt and other foundational Black Americans. That was
now, keep in mind, family, this fellow don't know our history, so he just be rambling. So it's disrespectful, but he really don't know any better. He just says stuff. So we didn't write it, but we had great ancestors like Frederick Douglass. Now listen, we can go tit for tat with great ancestors. Okay, now I say foundational Black American like Frederick Douglass. Who do you say in Jamaica? Now let's go tit for tat. Frederick Douglass, who you got? You dig? Dr. King, who you got? You dig? Harriet Tubman, who you got? We can be petty. George Washington Carver, who you got? We can be petty and go name for name. We got Madam C.J. Walker, who you got? We got Maggie Lena Walker, who you got? We got Biddy Mason, who you got? We got Richard Owens, who you got? We got Tunis Campbell, who you got? We got Sarah Rector, and these names you guys probably never heard of. And then we can go on and on and on. Who you got? So we can do the petty game. All right, we do the petty game, but he doesn't represent all Jamaicans. He doesn't represent all people from the Caribbean diaspora or Africa. Okay, because you got some people in those places that do not agree with this. They resent this. They object to this hate. All we want them to do is just be more louder with their objections, so we don't falsely group them all up. Because sometimes, because they're not loud opposing this, I feel like they're acquiescing to it. So sometimes we can make a mistake and group you all up together, but we want to try to be more louder about your objections to this type of hatred from your tether class.
Roots effort. We push that. We literally fought for the 14th Amendment, sir.
Yeah, you fought to be a citizen in America. Whoop-de-doo.
We fought for
thanks to Black America.
We fought for them to recognize our citizenship. We don't matter, but we've always been citizens. We could vote and we could hold off.
Like it'd be so repetitive. I said before, dude, we literally fought. And we didn't catch you off guard. The Haitians did. Again, I'm not trying to be funny and disrespectful, but the Haitians rebellion, it wasn't like we won, like a fade boxing match. No, you caught folks off guard. Overwhelmingly favored. Okay, you outnumbered them 100 to. You're supposed to win, man. You should rebel. Maybe some 100 years. You outnumbered them clearly. Wasn't close. For the case with us, we were outnumbered, and we're outnumbered today. We was never over whites over our, let that go. Masters, whatever, right? Oppressor, not the case over here. So he fought one to be called citizen. So that was Damon John said to Charlemagne, nah, they didn't, check. We did a deal. And that's what happened. But that's what happened with us. Nobody cut us no imagine. No, we made a deal. We fighting this war. This is what we want. 40 acres in a mill. Y'all can fact check this. This was a deal. We had Black leaders in the Civil War representing us, and they cut a deal with Abraham Lincoln and his top, lieutenants and shit like that. We made a top captains and we made colonels, and we made a deal, and they honored it. They took it back. Well, it was Abraham Lincoln. He got assassinated, and they reversed it. But that's a fact. We don't expect the tether to really know that.
Office in certain places, so we've always been citizens, sir. This is our country. We built it. We built it. And
so you want me to take Tariq Nashi assumption over the federal government and the Supreme Court decision in 1857 that black or Negro, free blacks or enslaved Negroes could never be citizens of America?
Okay, that's a contradiction. Now we had to force them to
first of all, I don't even know if that's the right reading. The Dred Scott, first of all, he is a fool. At that time, it wasn't even about being citizenship. It was about being free. Okay, so look, let me rewind that back one more time. This is a fool, man. And look, all you gotta do, his real name is Kwame. Well, that's the name he was going by before revenue. So family, just go to my archives and type in Kwame, and you'll see me cook this guy on a regular. Okay, look what he just said. The Dred Scott case was not about citizenship. It was about being free in a free state.
And the Supreme Court decision.
Been citizens, sir. We've always. That's why we could, even before the 14th Amendment, we could vote and we could hold office in certain places. So we've always been citizens, sir. This is our country. We built it. We built it. And
so you want me to take Tariq Nashi assumption over the federal government and the Supreme Court decision in 1857 that black or Negro, free blacks or enslaved Negroes could never be citizens of America?
Okay, that's a contradiction. Now
like I said, that's a fool. That court case was not about citizenship. If it was, correct me, I'll take that back. But I do know it was largely about Dred Scott being free because he was in a free state momentarily. Okay, do you know what happened? So that was reversed, obviously, and we got that 1857 Dred Scott case as a point of reference. But check this out. Do you know in 1854, Biddy Mason did the same thing, but she won hers in California? Yeah, so her slave owners brought her to California. Okay, she took her thing to court and won hers. So he is being retarded. He act like everybody who sued for freedom after being exposed to a free state, it didn't happen because the white man is not bound to respect any rights of a Foundation Black American. But why did Biddy Mason win hers? They let her go. She became free, and she became a successful millionaire real estate owner. Okay, Biddy Mason.
Had to force them to recognize the real law.
What real law?
The law was even in the 16 and 1700s, or not, I say the 1700s when the United States was formed. We were holding political office. Free black people could vote. You couldn't vote if you were not a citizen, right?
I mean, technically, you could.
You couldn't vote if you were not a citizen. That was the law.
Okay. So now this guy don't understand the 3/5 compromise. This is a retarded tether. Technically, we could vote. Like that's illegal now. Like a lot of immigrants are being deported because they voted and are not citizens. They've been employment. I say now, like in 2025, a lot of them are being right. That's a federal charge. Okay, that's federal. So those who voted as an immigrant without citizenship, they are up for deportation now. So this piece of trash tether does not understand our history. And I would ask them, technically, we could vote. And I would say, explain the 3/5 compromise. Again, it's Cook City.
Couldn't vote if you were not a citizen. You couldn't hold political office, and we held political office in the 1700s and early 1800s as Black people.
Yep.
You couldn't do that if
1800s.
you weren't a citizen.
So explain the Dred Scott decision and why did the Supreme Court ruled that Black people in America
what I
could
do in return to revenue, I say no. You mention it, you explain it, because you got a habit of saying it. I don't have that issue. If I say something, I pretty much know it and I can explain it. I don't need you to explain it back to me.
Could never be citizens.
Right, and that's why it was immediately challenged. That's why that whole narrative was some bullshit. We said, oh no, yes we are, and we're going to show you that we're citizens. So yes, we forced that on them, that we were citizens.
How did Black people fought? It was the Quakers and the other white Christian groups that fought for Black people to be citizens. It wasn't no Black people uprising, fighting, killing no white people. These was white men that fought for Black slaves.
Okay. Yeah, so now he's just saying random. At this point, we know. I'm telling you, family, he's new to his audience. He's not new over here. He's been over here for months, 4 or 5 months over here getting cooked. Probably longer than that. Okay? But I'm gonna say at least 4 or 5. I'm gonna say at least January. I'm gonna say February, March. It could be early, but I'm gonna give him February, March. We start popping up over here getting cooked. Okay? The dude does not know our history. He just say random stuff and he hopes he's not challenged.
And free Blacks to be citizens.
LJ,
it wasn't no grassroots movement, as you put it. Like,
sir, it was. There were Black people fighting in the streets. There was a very famous brother, Octavius Cato, who actually got killed. He was one of the people who was driving the 14th Amendment narrative and other people. We were fighting folks to make that thing happen. We were literally in the streets fighting. Yes, we were, sir. Look up William Nesbitt. Look up Octavius Cato. Look up some of those brothers that were leading the charge in making the 14th Amendment possible, sir. You're too easy. God damn.
So
God damn, this nigga's too easy. You're too easy to debunk. Damn, this nigga's easy to damn debunk. All right.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, we pushed that line. We weren't just getting spit on and taking that shit. Dude, there's a reason why J. Edgar Hoover said, hey, man, these Black people, they're a threat to national security. That's why they had to have a whole COINTELPRO program. They were like, these Black folks, especially these Black militants, that's a problem. They're going to shut this bitch down. Yeah, you don't shut that down because you just getting spit on. Boy, Black folks was out here hijacking planes, blowing up police stations, sniping cops and firefighters off roofs, burning down these cities. In Cairo, Illinois, they ran all the white people out of there in the 60s and 70s. Y'all heard me talk about that before. There was a town that they whooped on them white supremacists so bad they ran them all out. It's a ghost town now. Nobody never really rebuilt the city like that. Yeah, the Black people ran their ass up out of there. They're like, if we ain't gonna get nothing, nobody gonna get nothing. Everybody's gonna be up out of here. They ran the white people went to the federal government trying to get help. They were like, it's too many, stand in line. There's too many Black folks riding all over the country. Shit, we can't do nothing for you. Just leave. Just get the hell on up out of there. And again, after the 60s, that's why they had to create SWAT and militarized policing, because we was whooping that ass. Come on now, you better know history. There's a reason why you gotta go through.
Okay, so how's that? Because he's getting tired of revenue, so he cut it short and got him off there because he's understanding this dude is disingenuous. And I hopefully somebody who's a regular over here sent Tariq a email or something to explain revenue's a troll. Like he gets cooked on by his round on a regular, and Tariq should not take him serious. They definitely start banning him and kicking him off earlier. All right, so family, I just want to do a little bit of reading just to pick up from our left off yesterday, addressing some Charlie Kirk's claims, okay? So let me just start with this first. Okay. So, family, some African kingdoms and elites were involved in capturing, that's called, when they say capturing, that's called slave raids, R-A-I-D, like raiders, like raid, like roach spray, slave raids, okay? They were slave raiders. I believe that's where you got the Raider name from, and the football, all right? But they were slave raiders. That's why it reads that they were involved in capturing and selling other blacks to European traders. So family, don't let them say words like kidnapped, right? Because when they say kidnap, they're talking about white people coming into Africa, the shores of Africa, the coast of Africa, and kidnapping Africans. That's a big lie. Don't ever let them say that. They'll say trafficking, they'll say all these terms. No, the only person who was snatching up black folks were Africans, not white people. And that's why they sold them to white people. Why would white people snatch them up and then sell them to their own selves? That's just stupid. Okay, that's not historical. Right. So they sold them to European traders. So this collaboration was consummated. What do you mean collaboration? This business deal, this joint venture, Africans and white people, was complex, often driven by power struggles, economic incentives, and coercion. So Europeans did not have the military capacity. Listen, family, listen. No debating each other or anybody. Listen. Europeans did not have the military capacity to invade deep into Africa in the early periods. They relied on African middlemen to capture Africans, sell them. They did not have the military they have today to go in Africa and kick butt and take folks. So they waited for Africans to go and kick butt and then sabotage, kidnap black people and sell them to white people. Now, what are they always want names. What are the key African groups and kingdoms involved? So Kingdom of Dahomey, modern day Benin, known for large-scale slave raids, sea raids, that's the language, and selling captives to Portuguese, French, and British traders. Benin, okay? Dahomey. Ashanti Empire, modern day Ghana. Ghana participated in selling war captives and criminals, traded extensively with the British and Dutch. Wow. Oyo Empire, modern day Nigeria, conducted slave raids and traded captives through ports like Lagos and Badagry. Active in inland slave routes to the coast. Senegambia region, modern Senegal and the Gambia. Local rulers collaborated with the French and Portuguese. The Wolof and Mandinka people were sometimes both victims and facilitators. So these Senegalese people, these Gambians, they collaborated with the French and Portuguese to sell black people to. Interesting. All right. Congo Kingdom, modern Angola and Congo. King Nzinga, Memba, Afonso I, initially supported trade, but later protested its devastating impact. Portuguese slavers operated heavily in this region. All right, so number 6. Bight of Biafra, South eastern Nigeria. Igbo captives were heavily trafficked from ports like Bani and Calabar. Okay, so while some Africans did collaborate, others resisted and tried to stop the trade. Okay, so some said, although some blacks have went with the slave trade, and other blacks did not do that. They studied school. So Europeans created the demand, built the infrastructure, and profited massively from it. The transatlantic slave trade was driven by European imperialism with African participation under limited power. Okay, one more thing. And I'll play some of the video. One more thing. I gotta read this. Matter of fact, let me do a couple things since I'm already here. It's good. It's good for discussion. Because we're all learning. Okay. So Revenue talks about the Jamaicans. They didn't get spat on. They out there fighting wars against the French or Great Britain, whoever he said they was fought against. And they fought against. He said they kicked butt. So don't forget. I mean, some of that I question. But the Haitian Revolution, 1791 to 1804, is the only successful large-scale slave revolt in the Western Hemisphere. So all these victories that Kwame, aka Revenue, is lying about, the only successful large-scale slave revolt in the Western Hemisphere came from Haitians. Okay. It came from, did I say Haitians? I'm reading wrong stuff. One more time, run that back, correct yourself. The Haitian Revolution, 1791, 1804, is the only successful large-scale slave revolt in the Western Hemisphere and resulted in the defeat of the French Empire by slave Haitians. So, so the Haitians were under leadership by Toussaint Louverture and John Aqua Dessalines. Okay. So Dessalines means Spanish and British. His country declared its independence in 1804 and abolished slavery. It's not true with Jamaicans, because Revenue said Jamaicans, they fought in these wars, the Cameroon, and all this stuff. He like to make up history. Let's look at it. So Jamaicans did not win a war against Britain or gain freedom through military defeat of the British Army. So he was lying. There were, however, major uprisings in Jamaica, like what? Tacky's War, 1760. Also enslaved people in the Caribbean. What? Let's see. It's just simply Tacky's War. Okay, so the Baptists were 1831 to 32, led by Sam. It involved up to 60,000 enslaved people. It helped accelerate the process of abolishing slavery, but was brutally suppressed. Okay. Anyway, these uprisings did not win full freedom. So you're fighting. So how are you saying you won? Or independence? They influenced British lawmakers, especially abolitionists, but the British still retained full colonial control and power over Jamaica at this time. All right. If Jamaicans fought in the 1700s, why was independence not until 1962? That's a good question. Almost 200 years. Yeah, did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Jamaicans had we were free from slavery in the late 1700s, but they were under the control of the white man until about yesterday. Okay, so Britain gradually granted freedoms, but kept control over the economy, military, and political system, right? So Jamaicans had to fight politically and socially for full independence over 100+ years. British fear of revolts like Haiti's caused reforms, but not full decolonization until the 20th century. So they were really stuck on that. Okay, so now Revenue says Jamaicans won military independence from Britain in 1700s. False, that's a lie. Revolts occurred, but they were defeated only partially successful. Caribbean people debated European powers. True. Haitians defeated France and became independent in 1804. What else we got? Okay. So a lot of people over-systematize Jamaica, and they're fighting like tethers like Revenue and some Pan-Africanists, right? But it's cool to vote and fight for resistance. You got it. But it's also important to distinguish resistance from full military victory. The Jamaican struggle for independence was long, very long, complex, and mostly politically and not military. That's what's on that. I mean, some more, but I'm going to be brief. All right, okay. So where we at? All right, so now let's play some of the video. Britain, assimilation, I am, they into any mimetic Jews, universal, tripping. All right, get to the video. So we're done with this one. Let's go here. Okay, so Dr. Mayat on the top left, she's gonna come over here, family. So, be your best behavior in the chat. Represent. She's going to say some things. I'm going to play some things. Some things is going to piss you off. But I got to give her a little bit of leniency because not this video. This ain't going to piss you off. This one is. Okay. And mainly because this was a year ago. She said a lot of anti-FBA stuff. But, a year later, she seemed to be on board. So watch.
It's weird. Like, find your own space, do what you do. And there's not 40 million FBAs. All African Americans do not align with that doctrine whatsoever. Okay, so
this is the thing. I keep talking about a doctrine is something you can join. It's not nothing you could join. If you are a descendant of the slave Africans here, your FBA, it don't matter if you like the term or don't like it. It's not about your feelings. You don't have to like the term, but I'm still going to consider you a foundational Black American. It's not a group you could sign up and join. It's not ADOS. It's not a thing where we have meetings, and it's just another name for African American.
Saying it's a lineage. You said no. I wouldn't say it's another name for African American. I wouldn't say that. But I will say this, Brother Barry and Sister Juju and Brother Unc. I think we've.
She said another name for African American. I disagree big time. African American is a recent term. It's only 30 years ago. They act like that's so old ago. That's so long ago. That's so old.
Had this dialogue before. Remember, Brother Ankh, I was saying that people literally hijacked African American. Like, remember, you looked it up, Brother Ankh, yourself. Like, so you can have continental Africans who come over here and say, I'm an African American. I had to tell one of my students when she self-identified as an African American, I said, you're not. She said, well, I'm from the continent of Africa and I live in America now.
Mayat agree with me, and I say a lot of they're not Black or African American or Black American or foundational Black American. They're not. They're just from the country they're from. So if you live in America and you're born here 10 generations, you're still Jamaican. That doesn't make you foundational or a white American. Back.
Now, so I am African American. I said it doesn't work that way. So I do understand the need, right, for another term, because you literally have people who are coming from the diaspora, coming from the continent over here in America saying I am an African American. And you looked it up, brother. You looked up the definition of African American.
We got the Indian Syrian dude who running for mayor out here.
Let me respond. Hold on.
We out here talking about
this is the video we're gonna review. So I wanted you guys to catch the point. So again, this is 6 days ago. So where she was down, Dr. Mao, top left was down. I let her know about this though. I said, I want to know your stance on FBA, because you got one video where you're like pro it, and then another video, you know, you seem like, you know, you don't agree with it. We're divisive.
Fine. What? We're not even on that. So, Dr. Mayad, like how I see that. Oh my God.
Brother Barry, Brother Barry, let Sister Juju go ahead.
So now let's get to what I really want to play. So you heard views. We have the right to self-identify. That's cool because like she's grown. But this is a year late. This is a year before. So the video we watched, that was recent. That was her giving us her flowers and things like that. But a year prior, she had a different mindset. So I asked her, like, so you got two different mindsets about FBA. And I asked her, when you come on, you know, talk with us, which one do you have now today?
Peace and love to you. Who else is in the building? I see Kira is in the building. Peace and love to you, Kira. Let me see what Kira say. The RBG. I hear you, sister. She said, Ashe. All right. So family, you see the title, right? Cameron says he's not an African American. Okay. Cameron said, matter of fact,
don't back around full circle. I showed Smokey Robinson. I showed Freeman with her. I showed Simone Raven, right? Or Raven Simone. I showed Morgan Freeman. And I showed her a random like 7 to 8-year-old young kid from the late 50s. All against being called African anything.
Put African nowhere in my title. Just call me black or just call me a black American. He was like, later for that African stuff, he started saying, making blanket statements. The Africans don't even like us. They don't even look at us as Africans. I mean, he said a whole lot, and I'll let the clip speak for itself. So tonight we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about misogynoir within the academy. There was an article that just dropped in the Forbes magazine, and it came after people found out about the untimely death of Dr. Antoinette Bailey. She was the VP of Lincoln University, and I brought on Baba Amin and Dr. Wright to talk about that. And Dr. Wright called me up. She said, "Girlie, I think we made a boo-boo." She said we were talking about the Lincoln University, you know, in Philly. This was the one in Missouri. So she was like, "I think we need to go back and correct that." And so we're on tonight. We'll definitely be correcting that. All right. And I see you in the building, my IG supporters. Peace and love to all of my IG supporters. All right. Peace and love to you. I see you in the building, my IG supporters. Please DM this live to your friends. Tell them get their butts on in here and check out Dr. Ma'at. She's going live. She's streaming on IG and YouTube right now. And for my IG followers, I don't even like to say followers, supporters. For my IG supporters, make sure that you head on over to YouTube, right? Type in Dr. Oya Edwa Ma'at. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. And also my IG family and my YouTube family, let's kind of get some synergy going. So I would love for my IG family to come over here from time to time on YouTube and holler at the YouTube family. For my YouTube family to shoot on over to IG, right? And holler at my IG family. Let's get some synergy going on, family. Ashe, drop an Ashe in the chat. And look at it. Speaking of the Baba, I don't say speaking of the devil. Speaking of the Baba, you see the Uhuru Academy is in the building. He said, peace and power to all. Hashtag RBG for life. Peace and love to Baba. Peace and love to his wonderful divine compliment, Mama and Koyo. Family, make sure that you sign, that you enroll your child in the Uhuru.
Okay, so now I'm going to fast forward it to the the Cameron statement. So now you got Cameron who's going to say, nah, we're not FBA. I mean, we're Foundation of Black Americans. We're not African. So let me get to that right away. Without further ado. Man, where is it? Okay. Here we go. So she got a Pan-Africanist on the right. So that's a year ago. So if y'all disagree with anything Dr. Maya says, just cut us some slack because he just heard her earlier on the prior video 6 days ago correcting and about the term African American. It's too exclusive. Anybody and their mother come over here and we call African American.
An African American. He said, don't put African in nothing that he said, I don't want to identify with nothing African. Like, he's like, them people don't like me. They don't like us. And, they don't even look at us as African. I mean, he went all the way in, Doc. And so before I ask you your thoughts, I'm going to play the clip and let him speak for himself.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, family, here we go. Here's Mr. Cameron.
Here we go.
It just doesn't have color on it, though. It doesn't.
Your face is the color now. What year did you get your license? I don't know. Different states have different stuff. Year? We don't even gotta go into the license. When you go fill out a test when you're in school and they ask you this, that, and the third, this, that, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. And I know we gotta get back to our topics. We already a few minutes in. I'd rather feeling black than African American. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
And Americans do?
Well, you're American, Mace. You're born in America. When you go to the Olympics, and when I say African American, you over there, they call us Yankees and all that. They fuck with us, but we're not from the motherland. We're from America. Right. So I'd rather say I'm a black American. When we go to the Olympics as a country, and somebody black is fighting from the United States, you don't say African American, you say American. You don't even put a color on it. It's an American fighter fighting a European fighter, or China or Japanese or anything. You're known in the Olympics as an American. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're an American fighting against somebody from Cameroon or Senegal, whatever. The point being is they don't categorize it when it's world competition.
Right.
But when it's other shit, it needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a black American. I don't consider myself African American. And shout out to all my niggas in Africa. Much love. But y'all don't consider us real Africans. Y'all don't.
Here you go. And that's his experience. He said, y'all don't consider us real Africans. You don't. And they don't. Okay? That's why when you speak to us, they're not tethers, they still don't look at us as Africans. That don't mean they look down on us. All, but that means some of them, they don't see us as African, but I mean regular. Secondly, thirdly, you gotta look like you are real African. So it's just common sense stuff, man. But again, that's just Cameron. Cameron's used a TBE, Floyd Mayweather analogy. Hey, when you go fight for your country, they don't I lost connection for a brief second. Let me just share the screen again. Okay. So as I was saying, Cameron is a we got a troll. Okay, let me get to that. Yeah, y'all handle that troll. Time him out for 30 minutes. But like I said, let me guess. Cameron is a brainwashed cult member of the cult leader Tariq Nashi. Oh no, Cameron is paid by the CIA. He's an informant of the CIA and FBI. This is what they say. Oh no, Cameron is a Russian bot. Cameron is divisive. You dig? All right. So here we are. So this, they doing a show on it. Check this out.
That's that.
Now that's not mine. That's part of this show. Okay.
He said it. He was like, you know, and then he said, shout out to them, you know, my name in Africa, but you know, he was like, y'all don't really view us as that, and some of you all don't like us, and you know, and that's that. And so, Doc, what was your
and for all you guys that came here just now, please take a look at this. This was very, very important. I played this earlier. This is the late 50s. Okay, Tariq Nashi wasn't probably even born at this point, or just got born. Whatever y'all want to say, he wasn't influential at this time. All right, I don't think he was born, but if he was, he did a month or in somebody's belly. All right, listen to this.
Sir, could you stand up? We can't hear you. Could you stand up over there by the microphone?
You mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? Do you mean to Africa? We are not Africans no more.
We're not Africans no more.
You have raped.
We're not Africans no more.
We are not Africans no more. You have raped our great grandmothers and stuff and changed us. Let me finish. And gave us a name as a Negro. I am not a Negro. A Negro is a person with a slave at the man. I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me.
Sir, I just want to tell you that. And don't say nothing else to me. Now, we know that as same energy. We know that as the energy thing. Some people say majority spirit. Some folks say mojo spirit. Some might even say the Holy Ghost. Whatever you want to call it, it's still something within us that we know it when we hear it, see it, feel it, taste it, smell it, okay? When a Foundation Black American say, and don't say nothing else to me, and point at you, that means the next time you direct them, they are all crashed out. They're crash out dummy. And you can play with your life, you can play with your soul and your body and say something else. But we mean what we say, and we say what we mean. We say, don't say nothing else to me, and we point at you. And that white man say another word. Okay, but look what he said in 1950s. We're not African no more. Okay, now let me guess. He's being divisive. He's influenced by Tariq Nashi. Tariq Nashi probably even born. He's a Russian bot. Okay, he was paid by J. Edgar Hoover and the COINTELPRO organization. Family, it is what it is, man. We're not African. That doesn't mean if you do a DNA test, Africa won't be there. For some people, it won't be there because they were already here. But for a lot of us, it is going to be there because we do have African ancestry. So we also got European ancestry. You dig? All right. Does that mean we're Europeans? And family, I was talking to somebody. Okay, I'm very sociable. And I was talking about this. And they're Foundation Black American, but they don't go by the term. They don't even know what it is. Okay, she's a little older, 50. And I was just briefly explaining it to her without trying to indoctrinate her or force it on her. And I didn't even say the term Foundation Black American because I didn't want her to hear that somewhere and, think I just spoke to her freely. And I mentioned, I didn't say anything too divisive. I just was focused on us. I made sure her lineage goes back to slavery, so much so that she even went and showed me her 23andMe and her family tree. And I'm going to show you what she sent me. Okay. So she has showed her grandmother, just her grandmother. When folks act like it's so hard to trace our lineage, listen, family, not her great, her grandmother was born in 1888. That means her mother's mother was born in 1888. Something like that. If it wasn't her mother's mother, it was her mother's mother's mother. But it was like very close. It was like recent. It was like not too far. 1888. Okay. And then that, I think it was a grandmother, but let's see if it wasn't. Let's see if it was her fourth grandmother. Her grandmother. Well, her mom was born, obviously, somewhere in 1860s. Okay, so she's clearly foundational Black American. All right, and I'm gonna show you her results when she did tests, her DNA test. So I'm gonna work on that as this video plays. Y'all don't want to miss this. Yeah, I do not want to miss this.
Your first thought when you watched this video? What were you thinking? Oh, hold on.
The thing I thought was Malcolm X. He gave a speech called
Okay, because I was trying to tell you guys I'm working on something, a study. Just a personal study, not too deep. But I wanted folks to just tell me or send me my email. Just screenshot it. You ain't guys put your name in there, no personal information. The screenshot, if you did a 23andMe and it gave you percentages, the screenshot may be the top 4. The highest percentage with the country, the second percentage with the country, and I'm doing like a little research. I think it'll be well appreciated. Okay. So let me work on what she sent me, and I'm gonna play this.
African self-hate. So right there, right? So that was the first thing I thought of. Like, okay, he would do good to dig that speech up and consume it. But then also too, I was like, hey, leave him where he's at. Even though there's a lot of people who absolutely feel the way he feels, and so he represents that, unfortunately. But I just thought to myself, how ignorant of you, really, because another Malcolm adage. So what did Malcolm say? Just because you put kittens in an oven doesn't make them biscuits, right? So, so there you have it.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, we all are folks of the lineage. We have opinions. Some of us got greater opinions. Some of us got better historical accounts that make more sense. But one person's words isn't always to reflect and represent all of us. That's just how they feel. Look at Bobby Smalls. He said, "Don't give them FBA slop." So, do we go with that too?
We're in America, but we're not here under our own volition, right? We didn't choose to come here. Now, there are people who chose to come here after a certain.
I hate to keep pausing it, but if you're enjoying the live, go ahead and like the video, subscribe. And if you feel like it is worth a value to you, the super chat is there. You can send a message, and the Cash App is there. All right. And you could do none of those things, and you could just join the panel for a second. You did land your plane very quickly, but you give a testimony, talk about how you appreciate it and what you heard and what you didn't like or whatever. There's a phone number and there is a Zoom link, so you can actually interact. You don't have to, well, you gotta like the video, but you don't have to subscribe if you want to. You don't got a super chat or Cash App, but you can appreciate what we're doing by calling in and saying you appreciate it. That's welcome as well. And also, if you got criticism, go ahead.
Point, but initially, the African diaspora that is about 400 or 500 years old did not choose to come here, right? So location and identity, who you are and where you are, sure, there's a relationship, but they're not synonymous. It's not the same thing per se, your place of origin. So You know, he's problematic, but I wish that
Southern Breeze, peace, and everybody in the chat. Let me see the likes. Oh, the likes. Thank you. The likes definitely got up there. We're about 9 off, but I ain't gonna ride you too much.
Mace would have said something, because clearly he didn't agree with him.
He didn't.
He's just sitting there like shaking his head like, no, that ain't it. But he didn't say anything. And so I wish
Not So Good said, what do y'all think about Ice Cube saying that ICE is going too hard on the illegal immigrants? That's his opinion. Not every FBA supports ICE. You dig? Not every FBA. You dig? I personally support ICE. Okay. And but that's just me. I don't speak for 43 million people. I don't even try to persuade them. I don't try to indoctrinate my people, because it's not a cult. Every folk don't gotta believe like me. Now, I would give my reasons why I support ICE, but you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to follow after me. But I would give you my reasoning right now why I support them. Hey, it might change next year. It might change 4 years. It might change after Trump administration. I might reflect back and say, yeah, you know what I mean? We're humans. We evolve. We change our minds sometimes. It did. So, but right now, I support ICE 100%.
he would have represented the other positions that are out there that are different, you know, but he didn't, you know, I guess he felt like he felt like he could fight with the ignorance that day, just a headache. So, you know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of what I got.
I have a guess. I might have Mr. Perspective tomorrow morning, okay? He said he'll try to pull up. So like the video, let's get the numbers up. So when he thinks about joining us, you can see that, hey, yeah, they got support over there. I will, you know, come through and show love.
From him, like Mace gave him a little bit of pushback.
Okay,
he was like,
so let me give Franklin White also a Lineage wrench. And again, Franklin, make sure you like the video, subscribe, tune in tomorrow. You'll see a nice little snatch. Who's that? Snatch Adam 69. Peace to you. Yeah, pull up tomorrow, man. You're gonna be for Avengers. I see you out there. Sam Nevels, I see you. Yeah, pull up tomorrow morning. You're gonna see a nice discussion with me and a brother. Thank you, Salik Bey, $9.99 in super chat. Everybody like Salik Bey's donation, super chat donation, his Lineage love. Listen, everybody can't always super chat, okay? It's not on everybody's heart. So again, I make the analogy like church. Sometimes you go to church at a word and you don't want to give $1 in that plate. But out of respect for the church and out of respect for those who did donate, when the plate go past you, they just tap it. So when you see a super chat, please like it, heart it, you know, because you probably, it's not on you. It's not on your mind to super chat now or maybe in the future. So just show them love. You dig? Just respect the fact that they did. And, you know, it's appreciated. Show them love, like it. Let's move on.
So Americans do, when he said, well, yeah, they don't even consider us Africans. They don't even rock with us. And he said, so, and he asked, he said, so Americans do, right?
Rebuttal, but
yeah, that was a beautiful rebuttal. And he was just like, and it kind of skipped and it went to something else. He didn't address that. You know, and so when
I need to address that because it was, you know, Mace was deflecting and he was just trying to be politically correct.
I heard it, Dr. Wright. I agree with Baba, and I have his comment on the screen. He said it was a real ignorant statement, you know, by Cameron. Yes. And he may consider himself a Black person or a Black American, but I really wish that he took a history class. I wish he sat in your class or he sat in the class.
Okay, that's what I don't like. Even though Dr. Mott is a year ago, I truly feel like she don't feel exactly that way. Or this year ago date. Now she's still who she is. She's still a Pan-Africanist, but I just played her views on FBA and the need to delineate segregate and self-identify, and she's on board with that now. And she's not all the way on board with the term FBA to identify lineage. That's cool, but she is on board all the way right now, a year later, that we definitely need to self-identify, and the lineage needs to be separated. It needs to delineate, to disaggregate. So she's that far. You know, she's a work in progress. I respect the fact that she, a year later, that she's at least acknowledging that and see the importance of that. Now, it'll take her a minute to come around to the terms FBA or, you know, stubborn, but maybe after a conversation with myself, we'll see. Okay, but again, we need the support. Yeah, you guys did support tonight, 100%. I didn't yesterday, you know, you guys were busy, whatever. Wasn't that the support wasn't really there? But I don't go live late. You guys know I'm a morning guy, so I don't expect a great turnout late. But you guys really, literally turned out and showed up tonight. Like, you guys gave me hella love tonight, so I respect that. I appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna try to bring y'all these interviews, Dr. Mayat, and look, I'm gonna talk about everything I talk about. I ask her tough questions, and perspective, same thing. Now, perspective is more of a person who disagrees with us. So to me, I like those better.
Baba Amin, or sat in the Our Story class of Baba Nwalimu Baruti and his compliment, divine compliment, Mama Ya Baruti. Just sat and really understood our story. Because even our great Black Americans, so you mentioned Malcolm X.
Roger, you're coming in trolling, Roger. So Roger, you came in trolling, dude. I would hate to, well, I won't hate, but you know, I'm in a loving spirit today for my lineage. So Roger, next controversial thing you type there, brother, I'm gonna give you what you want. Okay. Salik Bay, what time you going in the live? So I'm gonna go on as soon as I wake up. And hopefully I don't wake up at 3 a.m. But I'm gonna literally go, because I'm not gonna have a lot of time, because I gotta run around. Again, I'm gonna be settled in a second, but like I said, back in Jersey, so a lot of family linking up with me and do things with me, my basketball crew and play basketball. So it's a lot. It's really hard to like focus. That's why when I get a chance, I go live. But I'm gonna be on a regular schedule, not too far from now. But you can expect me to be live at least 9 a.m. early. I meant the latest. So I'm looking forward to live at like 7, 8. So what time is it right now? Okay, so to make that realistic, I can't be here longer than another maybe 35 minutes. Let me get Malik Bey, Sleep Bay.
Further back.
Yeah, so listen, that
a
was
lot of the book
Roger. If y'all want, just go ahead and just delete them.
A lot of them.
Okay, yeah, you should definitely just go ahead and delete.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Shit.
The
My fault, family. Let me try it again. And you know, some technical difficulty, that's all. Light stuff. But yeah, somebody remove Rogers from the, you know, hide him.
Roots. Even our ancestors who were emancipated in 1863, after we were emancipated during that Reconstruction time, and even during Jim Crow, we built towns, organizations, churches, and newspapers. And if you go and look at them, Doc, a lot of them started with the word Africa. So
now, I love you, great sister. that a lot of them think, that's false. That's false. There was a tiny, tiny, tiny minority of foundational Black Americans using the word Africa in anything that they put their hands on. Okay. Lorraine, back in the super chat. Is that new? If it's new, thank you, sis. Yeah, it is new. Thank you. So yeah, just tap her plate, and love, respect for those who support. But we support. We respect all support, even the subscriptions and the like button.
If we look at the math, and this is simple math. Some people say, oh, we were here before 1619. Yeah, some people are saying, oh, we were here in 15. 1619. But let's do the math. Even if 1526, 19 from 1619 all the way to 1863. Okay, yeah. So you're looking at roughly about 100. So I'm saying that even 150 years removed from Africa, those ancestors still recognize our African roots.
Yeah, my fault, family. The internet is very, very shaky. So this is my fault. And let me help and just get some of this out and maybe do a part two on this. I don't think I'm gonna get a play, but let me try. If it keeping up, I'm gonna look at that as a sign.
That since we've been gone for 400, 500 years, that we formed our own culture, our own way of life, our own. Now, all of this is mixed up in Africanism, and we can touch on that too. But have we formed our own thing over here, our own culture?
Nowhere. I get it. It is late.
Our own history that we create over here, this lineage over here. Yes, we did. That's a fact. I will never deny that. That's a fact. But I do agree with Professor James Small that our ethnicity over here.
I have no idea what that means. Our ethnicity is under the Pan-Africanist umbrella. I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry. Okay, so she's selected. So things are relational. Yes, see that is the caps, all caps on,
or a con, or a
caps locked, caps on. She's like, okay, we're foundational Black. If we're Black Americans, are we foundational to this country? Meaning that we build the foundation. They are responsible for the building of America. She's gonna yes because she's a scholar. So it's like, so why foundational so like kryptonite to some of you folks, and it is simply because Tariq Nashi came up. If Jesse came up with it, Cornel West came up with it, all these Pan-Africanists, if they have a personal issue with Tariq Nashi, and they just can't separate him, the personality that they don't like, from the great things he has done. I mean, that's just crazy. Some people, like for example, whether you guys think R. Kelly is a piece of trash or not, you can't take away his success in music. You dig? His writing skills, his songs, like that's never going to go away. If you think Mike Tyson did something wrong earlier, or you really believe he was righteously convicted of what he was convicted for, you still can't take away his history and why what he did. His sport, LT with the crack, the drug use, you still can't take away his ability. Probably one of the best football players of all time. You just can't. So the foundational part to some people in Pan-Africanists is so white man slop. Professor James language. Foundational is so the white man slop to them that they will admit we're foundational, we're Americans, but they will never use those three words together in any order. They just won't. They just keep forcing African American on us.
Ever, but we're all on that Pan-African umbrella. All of those ethnicities are still connected.
Okay, what does that
Africa.
Mean?
You know, Dr. John Henry
What
Clark
does that
said,
mean?
you know,
like people,
we're all
again,
Africans.
like
We just,
people
the boat just got off at different stops.
The same talking points as though they are mic drops. What does that mean? The boats dropped off on different spots. I will argue we stopped being Africa once we were, well, I'm sorry, I will argue, well, first of all, there's no such thing as African. There's no African flag, there's no African man. There's 54 countries and everybody is named after one of those countries. And you get more specific, you put onion back more, they're named after a tribe like Igbo and Fulani, and not even the country itself, okay? But there is no African. African is something that was preserved for us. They made us the generic African. Here you go, nigga, you're African. Everybody's saying African, but you are. You're all 54 countries. You're the entire continent. So I will argue there's no such thing as an African person. You don't go around calling people from countries that got a country name in South America, South American. They're going to feel like, why you ain't just call me what I am? Okay, Central America. You don't just say, hey, let's look at Central American. That's disrespectful. You don't think that's, y'all don't think that's disrespectful? See a man and say, hey, man, it's that Central American guy. You'll pick him up. He's looking like, well, damn. Yeah, there's a bunch of countries there, and I'm not them. Matter of fact, I didn't even like some of them. We're at war with some of the people. Now our group was all together. I'm this, I'm that, I'm Peruvian, I'm this, Ecuadorian. Like people are proud of where they come from because where they come from, they have a unique experience that's set apart from all the other South Americans, all the other Central Americans. They have disrespectfully lump everybody up. And go ahead and disregard a Nigerian. Go ahead and disregard a Jamaican. And when Sharika Jackson, or Hussein Bolt, let's just say the West Indians are got the record in track. The West Indians won Kashane Thompson. The West Indians won the 100. The West Indians won the 200. Say that and see how fast you get corrected by Jamaican. Wait, oh. Everybody from the Caribbean didn't win. It was Sharika Jackson and Kashane Thompson. That's how they gonna talk, man. And you gotta respect that. It's like they gotta respect how we talk.
Doc, you know the quote better than me. But he was saying that the boat got off.
Lineage is new, and it did not start with us.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
Land, culture, people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on, Doc. And so I land my plane. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. I said that earlier. Chuck. I said, and everybody didn't even come from Africa. He said we all ain't come from Africa, and all ain't know you're European. So get together.
What together? You talking to me? You being hostile for no reason. Like you came in halfway, in the live and and that's what happens. Like when y'all call in, it could be a great conversation, but y'all call in with that energy that no love got. And you're calling in during a stream that's been going on for like how long? 2 hours. You're calling in a 2 hour stream, hearing something, disagreeing, don't know what I said earlier, and think you're disagreeing, and then calling with attitude. Yeah, no, see this, dude. Okay, play back the show, man.
And I agree. Some people don't get the whole thing, the concept of ethnicity. Yes, African people in America, we have
so they're always disrespecting us. We don't know education. We don't know American history, African history. We don't know genetics. We don't know shit. Like they gotta always teach us. Okay, and that's a Pan-Africanist mindset. They gotta always teach us because we're just lost kids with these weird ideas.
History, we have constructed culture in the time that we've been.
Let me give a lineage wrench to Miss PD from the D. Miss PD from the D. All I ask as I give you a lineage wrench, you dig? Welcome to the mod crew. All I ask that you like the video, and if you like what you're hearing, just subscribe. I got the sister left, Dr. Maya, well-respected scholar in the conscious community, and I talked to her sometime soon. You dig, about the things she said today and what she said 6 days ago. Some things we agree with, some things we don't agree with, some things we need clarity on. I'm a right thing, but I have to put her on a hot seat at time. And I got perspective. We're going to probably stop by tomorrow morning. I don't want to miss that one because he disagreed more with our stance than Miss Dr. Maya. Yeah, and I got a phone number and a link. Anytime you guys feel like you want to contribute to the show, give a testimony, tell a story, criticize me, correct me, just from the chat, ask for the phone number or link. And you're not a co-host, so you're going to be on here maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes, and then you're playing, and then that's it.
Ethnically, you could say we are African American, okay? However, or Africans in America. However, we are Africans who survived all of that other stuff, right? Being captured and transported, the Middle Passage, and even plantations in America. Let me say this. What makes it important for us to remember that we're African? What makes it important is the fact that that is the reason we survived. There are other groups of people they tried this stuff with, okay? Native Americans, various Native American nations, right? Other Europeans. A lot of people don't realize that indentured servitude, the objective of indentured servitude was that you weren't going to ever get the land or money you were promised. Most people died, right? So Europeans who engaged in indentured servitude, which could have been just as harsh, but not continuous bondage, perpetual bondage as slavery, never saw the end of their indentured servitude. It was meant to kill you. So we came to this place with the cultural insulation that allowed us to survive it. It had everything to do with extended family formation, had everything to do with some of our very important taboos like suicide taboo, because I mean, who wouldn't? With all the odds, if we did not have a culture that instructed us never to do such a thing. So we came with a cultural insulation that protected us and allowed us to survive what no one has ever experienced in the way we've experienced or survived, right? The ones that were touched by it, right? We know Native Americans are engaged in mass suicide, engaged in suicide, other indigenous groups engaged in suicide with just even the threat of enslavement. That is not the story outside of a couple of incidents off the coast of Africa at Igbo landing.
I was thinking about Igbo landing.
That's not a characteristic of our culture. From the continent to here. That being said, African are multitudes of ethnicities, because I do believe what Sheikh Anta talks about, the cultural unity of Black Africa.
So she's halfway there.
We are ethnically different, because some people say, well, you know, well, we're not all
the African. So, like, listen, part of being ethnically different is being called something different. Okay, and again, there's no such thing as an African person, and I'm gonna talk about that with Dr. Mayat when we talk, and even to do tomorrow perspective. Like, dude, are you African? And I'm gonna ask him, what does that mean to you to call yourself African? And who else is African? You know, outside of African Americans, who else is African? Yeah, like, come on, man. It's just things that some people, not all, don't think about. Include that.
The same on the continent? No, we're not all the same on the continent.
Facts.
There is ethnic diversity, ethnic variation, linguistic diversity and variation. However, Sheikh Anta argues what I subscribe to, which is the cultural unity of Black Africa. So there is a common thread that runs throughout all of our, or most of our African cultures and ethnicities that bounds us. Okay. So, and I know
so
that
when I was watching this video at the screen before I play live, this was so cringy to me listening to this. Oh my God. But I had to listen to it. I just had to. Oh, I got to listen to this twice. I got to play it on the live. Like, I was just so ready to throw up.
That you'll pick up moving through the African world and engaging.
So we're everything but just American. We're Africans in America. See, but again, to me, it just boils down to part of the Pan-Africanist religion. They just really have an issue with whitey, but the white man and their whitey, those are their terms. They really got an issue with the white man or whitey, right? But they're not just as vocal as groups like, more like groups like the Moors or Nation of Islam, the Hebrew Israelites. The Pan-Africanists can be they're like the leftist version of the groups I just named. Like the groups I just named, they're like the righteous version of a right person, right wing. And the Pan-Africanists are more like a leftist version of liberals. Like, they want to say things politically correct. They don't want to come out and just tell you. Like, dude, you guys hate all white people, and you blame whitey for everything, and you don't hold yourself accountable for nothing.
You guys say that too? You believe that too? There's a consistency. So we know this theoretically, but we can find it in practice as well. So that in and of itself allows us, or should make us want to pay homage to our African ancestors.
No, I'm not paying homage to nobody who did us dirty. Like I said, our Africanists left when we got on those boats. Once we got on those boats, we were no longer African. And I will argue that, debate that, it's whatever. We were no longer African once we got on those boats.
African culture, the fact that it is the reason we survived all of this. Period. Hands down.
I love
what In June #9 said. He said, we ain't no secondhand African. Let me give that family member a lineage wrench. And again, for you, just like the video, it did sound like the awakening of the FBA. I hear you. See you in the chat. Peace to you. Like the video, child of God, you're back in the building. I like the video. Thank you, man. Yeah, some of you guys, I see you up there. Some of you guys prefer the late hours. And I'm going to try to give you that. I'm going to try.
So that being one of the aspects, so I don't agree with him, but let me just give you a little bit of a thing on the terminologies, right? So this thing called African American.
Oh,
you know, there's a New York Times article that talks about it. It may have existed before it was popularized in the 1980s with Jesse Jackson, but we'll keep it to contemporary times. Yes,
I'll rewind it. Let me rewind it a little bit on this. I just want to say this because there's a lot that some Jamaicans tell, like they kicked the white man butt, we didn't. Okay, my question to you will be this: if your slavery was abolished in 1834, why you guys didn't get independence until 1962? You know, over 100 years later. Like you guys been free, but ain't getting independence over 100 years later. Okay, because slavery wasn't abolished like it was for us, like an emancipation, like an agreement. You guys, slavery was abolished gradually, happened in steps. Okay, so that's one. Number two, that's 1834. 1865, you guys had the John Morant Rebellion. My bad, the Morant Bay Rebellion. So after this result, Britain tightened control, dissolving the local assembly. Now, 100 years after that, 1944, you guys had a new constitution. Jamaicans got limited self-rule and the right to vote. Okay. 1958, 1961, you had the West Indies Federation, which I talk about a lot, or used to. It was a failed political experiment to unify Caribbean islands. So this was their Pan-Africanism within themselves, and it flopped in just 3 years. It had no steam. It was a flop failure. Okay, 1962, they finally got their independence, but guess what? They became a sovereign rule under Prime Minister Alexander Bustamante, but they left the next 3 years. Again, they went to, in 1965, America passed the Immigration Act and the Filler Act, and these guys went to every country but Jamaican. Right now, you have more Jamaicans outside the country than in the country. So how do you fight for how do you get your independence in 62 and be totally gone by 1990? That's wild to me. Get your independence just to leave and never come back. Okay. So Britain gradually granted freedoms, but kept control over the economy, military, and political system. Jamaicans had to fight politically and socially for full independence over 100 years. So British fear of revolts like Haiti's called reforms, but not full decolonization until the 20th century. All right. So revolts did occur, but they were defeated or only partially successful. So revenue was lying. They revolted and lost. Okay. So Haitians will be the only Caribbean person to defeat a European nation in a revolt. Okay, so Jamaica became independent in 1838, but colonial rule lasted until 1962. Okay, so Britain gave up Jamaica peacefully. They like, hey, you could. They did the negotiations, not revolution. Hey, man, so they didn't fight for their independence. They like we did, like the Haitians did. They actually negotiated and got their freedom. All right.
Times article that talks about it. It may have existed before it was popularized in the 1980s with Jesse Jackson, but we'll keep it to contemporary times. Yes, Jesse Jackson popularized the term African American, but at the same time, you can find Kwame Ture speaking on this. Where
yes, I agree with and no evil race, even though some races did a lot of BS, like white people, but it would be historically inaccurate if you condemn one entire race because of actions of a yes, I agree. Like we gotta be different. We gotta practice FBA excellence or Black excellence, and let's just call out those who actually blanketly just cover everybody. You know, we're not a monolith and they aren't either. All right, let's be fair. Let's just call out the ones who are, you know, the guilty party.
There, he speaks
A
of
safe word to call it the guilty party. Tariq Nashi gave you a blueprint. Just say suspected white supremacists. That's the best way to call out the ones who that apply to, and not all white people.
the push to say Africans in America.
My audio going
Okay?
out. Okay,
Africans
so
in
that
America.
must be the internet. Okay, so I'm gonna give it 3 more minutes. I'll just matter of fact, yeah, I gotta wake up early and do it live in the morning. So hopefully the internet is more durable by then. So I'm gonna end one right now, because if I stay too much longer, I probably won't do the morning live. I'll probably get too late. Okay, so let me end this one now, and I got a good reason. The internet is shaky, so you're not getting a good quality live anyway. And thank you for the feedback in the chat. But you know, tomorrow is what? Sunday already? God damn. So Sunday, so you guys, you know, so, maybe the internet's a little stronger, and tomorrow, 8 a.m. go live 8:30. I ain't trying to go live no later than 9, but hopefully I can get live 8:30 the latest. All right, family. Thank you for the yeah. I'm a light sleeper. I'm a light sleeper. So if you're gonna rob me while I'm asleep, or rob the house, or do anything nefarious, you can only do it within like the first 2-3 hours. I'm asleep. Anything longer than that, I'm waking up. I'm waking up with you. Like you're not gonna creep around. I'm gonna wake up. Yeah, only when I first go to sleep. I'm in that deep 2-3 hour sleep. Yeah, you can be no noise in the world. I'm not getting up. But let me sleep a little while. You're done. I'm waking up. Yeah, so family, the video. That's it. Like the video, subscribe if you're new here. The Lineage Love button is there for next time. You can super chat or you can cash app. Those are just extra ways to support. Okay, but liking the video, subscribing is the easiest way. Is loving as well, and it's overlooked. Okay, so catch me in the morning. I might be talking to perspective, but you won't know until you're in the morning. You dig? So he said about 10 a.m. So that's what I'm gonna go learn. I know I'll just finish up on this until he gets on. So if I wake up early enough, like 7, 8, I'll just go over this video and finish the recap. And by the time we're done, it'll be 10, and he'll be tapping in. All right, family. We got another Lineage member in the chat. We got Queen 247. Peace to you, Queen. Queen, let me give you a Lineage wrench, and just do me a favor, Queen. Subscribe and tap in tomorrow morning. I'm talking to sister on the left, as Dr. Maya. I'll be talking to her sometime in the near future, not long at all. But perspective might be calling. Perspective is a cool brother, but he has a lot of bad things to say about FBA. So we gotta call him out and put him in that hot seat. So he agreed that 10 a.m. tomorrow morning might be a good time for him to pull up. Okay, so I get to challenge him. And we say about FBAs, okay, family? So like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. I really love you guys. You definitely represented tonight. So look, you guys got me. Yo, when do you ever see me live on 36 a.m.? Really? Never. But that's how much love y'all getting. I feel like I owe it to you. All right. Even lost sleep on that. So family, peace. I love you. I love you guys. Stay supporting. Let's get to 300, 800, 800. Because we make a more thing. Because you guys know how to be to bring them again. And again, fish fry him. Peace. Love you guys. Tomorrow. We won. So when I say family, I say V1, not the letter 1 that we used to do, because that just black first, right? But you got a lot of folks that are black and they hate us. So I like to say B1, BE, the verb, BE number one, which is a play on words, but it really means B1 on code. Okay, and that can only be talking to us and our supporters. And then I say we won, WE, pronoun, plural pronoun one. I know I'm missing the verb, but we won. And that means that we are one with the lineage. So BE one verb means that we're going to be one on code, and plural pronoun WE one means that we are going to be one with the lineage. We have no choice. Big, have a great night. And all you guys are new, so you're going to see a whole different audience. Late folks, I got my evening folks, and I got the